And brought to you live via St. Louis, Missouri. This is Bombers Game Mic. I'm Paul D, and this afternoon we have game one of two of a split doubleheader between the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. And we come off of last night, and last night's a disappointing loss. The Cardinals had a 3-0 lead going into the top of the seventh inning. The Brewers, they put up a 4 spot. They close it out. Wham, bam, boom. Brewers take game one. Not a great outcome. Not a great turn of events. This 5-game series has tremendous implications for the Cardinals. It is what I am calling the Crucible. Because right now you could make the argument that the Brewers are the best team in baseball. And it would be a very difficult argument to refute. And naturally, the Cardinals, for them, this is an acid test. But there's no acid test that is quite as pronounced as the one they're going to face this afternoon on the hill for the Brewers in the person of the right-handed pitcher, Jacob Misiorowski. 9-5 with a 1.47 ERA. The best in baseball. Is he made of flesh and blood? Absolutely. You see his record. It's not 9-0. However, he is a special talent. He's literally 1 in a billion because he has tremendous stuff. He's almost always in the strike zone, pinpoint control, and when he's in the strike zone, he's also missing bats. And I mean, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? It is incredible. And we know what he did to the Cardinals back at the end of May. We all remember that very well. We've seen what he's been doing to the entirety of Major League Baseball. Next Tuesday, down in Philadelphia, he most certainly will end up starting the All-Star game for the National League and very likely up against Cam Schlittler of the New York Yankees for the American League, both of which have had outstanding seasons. So we know about that. Now, going for the Cardinals today is an opener by way of Matt Svanson, who's just not been good. He has an ERA over 6. It's a bullpen game. It's a bullpen game, and right now the Cardinals are pushing back Stephen McGreevy to give him an extra day. Not any additional reason why, but that's what's happened. Additionally, Max Raychik has been moved to the 60-day DL. He is no longer on the roster. He's having elbow issues. He's getting a variety of opinions on the matter. From there, they've called up a lefty by the name of Zimmerman. I think it's like 31 years old, something of a journeyman. And they've also called up from Memphis Hunter Dobbins, who will end up starting game 2 here for the Cardinals tonight in the second game of this split doubleheader. So I'll give you the starting lineups here in just a moment. But before I do so, join the Game Mic roll call. Let me know where y'all are watching or listening from here in game 1. We're a little over 5 minutes away here from scheduled first pitch. So let me give you the lineups here for the visiting Milwaukee Brewers. Pretty similar to last night in many respects with the exception of the 9-hole. Leading off at DH is Christian Yelich. Batting second out and left is Jackson Chourio. Batting third at second base is Bryce Terang. Batting cleanup behind the dish is William Contreras. Batting fifth at first base is Jake Bauers. Batting sixth out in center field is Garrett Mitchell. Out in right field, batting seventh is Sal Frelick. Batting eighth at shortstop is Cooper Pratt. And in the 9-hole at the hot quarter tonight, or rather this afternoon, is Ortiz. Now for the home St. Louis Cardinals. Once again, this is going to be awfully familiar. Leading off at second base is the NL rookie sensation and all-star snub, J.J. Weatherall. Batting second at DH is Ivan Herrera. Batting third at first base is Alec Burleson. Batting cleanup out in right field is Jordan Walker. Batting fifth out in left field is Lars Nootbaar. Batting sixth at second base is Brian Torres. Batting at seventh out in center field is Nate Church. Batting eighth at third base is Jose Fermin, and batting ninth behind the dish is Jimmy Crooks. So as you can see here, with J.J. Weatherall, correction, J.J.'s at short today. Marmo's giving Mason Wynn a day off. He just does that. J.J. Weatherall has the ability to slide over to short. He's done it a few times this year. It's happening a little bit more regularly to give Mason Wynn some time off. Brian Torres is at second, a very capable utility guy. Fermin at third. You know the deal. So we're about 3.5 minutes away here from scheduled first pitch here in Game 1 of 2 in this split doubleheader this afternoon. So let's go to the chat. Join the Game Mike roll call. Let me know where you're watching or listening from. Off the top here is Zane. First one. Yes, you are, and I hope the dark side is treating you marvelously well, Zane. Justin Beasley. Cracks knuckles. Settling in for 7 hours of commercial-free calls from the one, the only, Paul D. Well, thank you so much, Justin. It's going to be a long day of baseball. Now Max. Hey, Paul. How's it going, Max? Good to see you. Alrighty. Let's go from here. DJ Nick Fly. Howdy, folks. Hope everyone is having a good day. I hope you're having a good day too, DJ Nick Fly. Cheers to Sparta, Missouri. Thurman is in the house. Everyone slash JBA ball. How's it going, Thurman? It's good to see you. You having a good evening? Okay. Max, why are we pitching a closer that has a 6.69 ERA versus the Miz? It's a roster issue. Simply put, it's a bullpen game in Game 1. That's the only explanation there is. They're just looking to get through this one. Simply put. All right. Let's see. IMG Gorilla. Jaywalk eats the Miz for lunch today. Well, we could only hope. DJ Dave, I love listening to Paul at work. Production may stall. Hey, I'm glad I'm able to keep you company, DJ Nick Fly. That's quite music to my ears. All right, Thurman. 3 out of 5. I'd be happy with you. Definitely. Rush Dash. Hello. Hey, Rush Dash. Cheers to you. Costa Rica. Man, I think I'd leave JJ at second to let him perfect and work on that gold glove there. He has been outstanding. There's no question about it. Defensively, he's been incredible. And with the bat, remarkably capable. You keep forgetting, all of us, that the guy is a rookie. Especially when you put him up in your watch and say, like, Jimmy Crooks or Blaze Jordan. They don't look anywhere near as established and comfortable as J.J. Weatherall. It's like he was born at second base at Busch Stadium. Like he's been there his entire life. It is incredible to watch. Okay. We're absolutely cooked with Swanson on the mound versus the Miz. Game over. You know, you got to play the games first, Ethan. You know, believe me, you watch enough baseball, weird stuff happens all the time. I'm not going to pretend it's some great, promising prospect here that it will happen, but you play the game for a reason. Chandra Das. Dousman, Wisconsin. Cheers to or is it Dousman or Dousman, Wisconsin? Flip the coin and find out later. All right. Rick Gilman. Hate to see them lose the game that was in the lead until the late innings. I hope the pitching is good today for the Cards. We can only hope. Now on the bump is the righty Matt Svanson. Has an ERA just north of 6. He is the opener today for the Cardinals. Of course, going up on the hill for the Brewers is going to be Jacob Misiorowski. And leading off is going to be the left-handed hitter, the DH today, Christian Yelich. And while he's not the Christian Yelich of years past, he is still a very capable and professional hitter with that lumber. All right. Outstanding. So we're just a moment away here from scheduled first pitch. It is wonderful to see you all here on this early Wednesday afternoon. And thank you for spending part of your day with me, whether you're off, whether you're at work, whether you're on the road, whatever it may be. Thank you for spending part of your Wednesday afternoon with me. I am calling both heads of this doubleheader. And that's the thing about the split doubleheader. It's actually a little hard to call because I get restless between games. I like the single admission doubleheader where One ends, and then the next one starts within like a half hour to 45 minutes. So we're just a moment away here from scheduled first pitch. The Cardinals are on the field. Your defensive alignment for the Cardinals: Newbar in left, Church in center, Walker in right, Fermin at third, Weatherholt at short, Torres at second, Burleson at first, and your battery of Jimmy Crooks and Matt Svanson for presumably at least the first inning. Stepping into the box is Christian Yelich, the DH. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Game 1 of this split doubleheader down at Busch today. At least 18 innings of baseball. Come and set Swanson, the first pitch. A sweeper called a ball on the outside corner, and we are underway in Game 1 of 2 in our doubleheader action here on Gabe Mike. It's a 1-0 count. From the stretch is Swanson. He deals. Swinging strike on the cutter, down and in, and the count is 1-1. On that first pitch called a ball, I actually thought it was a strike. Christian Yelich hitting .239 with 6 home runs, 28 RBIs in 56 games. It is a 1-1 count. Come and set Swanson. He deals. A sinker away and off the plate, and the count is 2-1. That was clocked 95 miles an hour out of the right hand of Swanson. He is back into the bump. Yelich is in the box. He comes set above the belt. The 2-1 pitch. Head on out there into right field, and if it stays fair, and it falls in, and it goes into the stands. So, Christian Yelich has a leadoff ground rule double. It bounced out there in front of the right field pole and bounced directly into the stands. And now the Brewers have a runner on second, leading off here in the top of the first inning. In that case, it looked like perhaps it was like a cutter that was about thigh high on the inner third. If I were to looking at that. Now here's Jackson Chourio, the right-hand hitter. He's out in left today. Runner on second with nobody out. Come and set Swanson, the pitch. There's a fly ball out to center field. Underneath it is Nate Church, only moving a couple steps to his left. He goes and throws in. Going over to second on the play is Yelich. He will be in safe. So a sacrifice fly by Jackson Chourio to center field. Moving from second to third on the play is Christian Yelich. And now the Brewers have a runner on third with one out here in the top of the first inning. So some very sound baseball there on the part of the Brewers. They execute very well. They make few mistakes. Now here's the second baseman, Bryce Turang. Turang hitting, .268 on the year. Here's the first pitch. Strike, sinker, inside corner, thigh high, and the count is 0-1. It's a righty-lefty matchup. This Brewer lineup has a lot of lefty power. Infield defense up against the left of the grass to cut down Yelich on a ground ball directly to them at home. Coming set is Swanson. He deals. A sweeper foul down the third base side and out of play, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. So the Cardinals today are wearing their classic white tops, white bottoms with the birds on the bat and the red letters and numbers and the red cap with the interlocking STL white in front. Come in set. The 0-2. A sinker up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. The Brewers today once again are wearing their navy tops with the gray bottoms with the yellow letters and numbers with Milwaukee across the chest with the yellow portion in front and navy and back on their ball caps and helmets. The 1-2. Foul down the third base side and out of play on the sinker up and away. And the count is still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two teams that actually dress very well here today. So once again, infield defense up against the lip of the grass. Outfield defense slightly shaded towards left. If they need to cut down Yelich at the plate, that's what they're doing. Here's the pitch. Chopped down the first base side and out of play on the sweeper, down and in, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. All right. Hey, look at that. Jen Paywall is out there. The woman umpire. First in baseball. Coming set. The 1-2. Foul down the third base side and out of play. I think this is the second series I've seen her officiate for. Very solid. Back onto the bump is Svanson. It's a 1-2 count. He comes set above the belt. He deals to Turang. A sinker inside and off the plate, and the count comes even at 2-2. Leading off third is Yelich with one out here in the top of the first inning. It's a 2-2 count. Coming set, Svanson. He deals. Swinging strike three. Down terrain goes Hacken for the second out of the inning. So a crucial strikeout there by Svanson to get terrain hanging with Yelich sitting down there at third. And now Yelich could only score on a hit or an error. Now here comes the righty catcher, William Contreras, who is the cleanup hitter. It'll be a righty-righty matchup, very capable, hitting .291. Here's the pitch. Hit to the left side, fielded there by Weatherall at short. He throws to first in time for the third out of the inning. So, no runs, one hit, no walks. Nobody left on. After one half inning of play, it is the Milwaukee Brewers nothing and the St. Louis Cardinals coming to bat. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Okay. Yep, first whistle of the day, Justin. Absolutely. Trip cue, let's go. I think we're off and running. Flat smack. I can't believe Yelich didn't strike out. Wow. Oh, he really got... That was actually a very, very nice piece of hitting on his part. Thurman. Oh, I forgot to be right back. Thank you, Thurman. Ah. Did you know that J.J. Weatherall bats .510 against the Cubs? That's an ungodly clip. JoJo Spades, good to see. Hey, Paulie, go Cards. Oh, yeah. Trip Q, do the Cardinals have a chance? I'm new to this. Well, yeah, of course they have a chance. I mean, going up against Jacob Misiorowski, as I think the regulars around here have come to know, when I see something that is a particular challenge, the only thing I can accurately describe it as is, well, that's a tough Sudoku. And I think that is a gift of understatement against Misiorowski, who's really just like a 1 in a billion talent. But the thing is, you can't hate the guy. One is, he grew up in a suburb of Kansas City, so he's a Missouri guy. And on top of that, when you hear him talk and he's talking to reporters, he is so unconsumed by himself. He's just not, there's no self-infatuation there. It's really quite endearing, and I don't think it's a show either. So getting ready to step into the boxes, J.J. Weatherall, Ivan Herrera, Alec Burleson are due up here in the bottom of the first inning. And Jordan Walker, if we get to it. Against Misiorowski here, like I said, ungodly numbers. 9-4 with a 1.47 ERA. 27 walks against 156 strikeouts. A whip of 0.78 in 17 starts. Throws a four-seamer about 64% of the time. A really effective cutter, slider, curve, changeup. The only guy who's ever thrown a changeup that I've seen in the mid-90s. The first pitch to Weatherall. Strike, four-seam fastball, inner third below the belt. And the count is 0-1. J.J. Weatherall hitting .266 on the year. Coming sets Misiorowski. The 0-1 pitch. And it hits J.J. Weatherall on the top of the right thigh, so he'll take first base there. So Jacob Misiorowski gets the action started for the Cardinals by plunking J.J. Weatherall on the leg. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. And when you saw J.J. Weatherall, you just saw him begin to mouth, you know what he said. We all know what he said. Now here's Herrera. Righty-righty matchup. Runner leads off first. Now here's the first pitch to Yvonne. A cutter away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. He's hitting .252, 10 home runs, 39 RBIs in 88 games, a .785 OPS. Coming sets Misiorowski. The 1-0 offering. Foul tipped, and it goes out there towards second. Bryce Trent goes over there at first to get Herrera. I swear I thought that hit and ricocheted off the catcher there. It did not. However, it was a productive out because it was hit so slowly, J.J. Weatherall was able to advance to second on the play, and Trang had no option to go anywhere but first. What happened was it hit it on the way in on the handle and then went the other way. Now, here's Alec Burleson, righty-lefty matchup. Here's a pitch. Foul tipped on the cutter in. The count is 0-1. Things you see. All right, back into the box is Burleson. Righty-lefty matchup. Leading off second is Weatherholt. He holds. He deals. Swinging strike on the curveball down in the dirt, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. He's hitting .281 with 14 home runs, 63 RBIs in 87 games, and .816 OPS for the burly first baseman for St. Louis. Coming sets Misiorowski. The 0-2 pitch. There's a fly ball out to left field. Coming in is Jackson Chourio. He's underneath it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Staying right there at second is Weatherholt. Now here comes Jordan Walker. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. The Cardinals' sole representative at the 2026 All-Star Game next week in Philadelphia. He's hitting .290 with 20 home runs, 67 RBIs, and .879 OPS in 86 games. He's played all but 3 this year. Coming sets Misiorowski. He holds. He deals. Hit on out there to left field, going back, looking up, and it is gone. A 2-run bombola by Jordan Walker. Oh, Jordan Walker, keep walking. The force is with you, Master Skywalker, and that will give the Cardinals a 2-0 lead. Oh, an absolute no-doubter off the bat of Jordan Walker, his 21st on the year, and the Cardinals have an early 2-0 lead. Wow. That is absolutely incredible. The bench absolutely erupted on the top step of the dugout there. That thing easily went about 380. Now, here's Lars Nootbaar, righty-lefty matchup. Here's the first pitch. A 4-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 1-0 to Newt. Hit on out there into left field. Coming in is Jackson Chourio, and it's over his head. It goes all the way to the wall. Nootbaar goes into second, standing up with a 2-out double. And the Cardinals have a runner on second with 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Jackson Chourio misjudged the play off the bat. He took a step in, and by the time he realized it was going too far back, it was clear over his head. It bounced right there before the warning track, rolled over, hit the bottom of the wall right underneath the steeple advertisement in left center field, and Lars Nootbaar's on second with a 2-out double. Now here's Brian Torres, righty-lefty matchup. Coming set is Misiorowski, the first pitch. Strike, 4-seam fastball, outer third below the belt, and the count is 0-1. Coming sets Misiorowski. Newt leads off second. The 0-1 pitch. Strike, cutter, inner third below the belt, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Misiorowski looks in. Nootbaar leads off second. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 0-2 pitch. A 4-seam fastball well out and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2, slightly over the righty batter's box. That was clocked at 102 miles an hour out of the right hand of Jacob Misiorowski. Newt leads off second. It's a 1-2 count. Coming set. He deals. Swinging strike 3. Down goes Torres for the third and final out of the inning. But not before the 2-run bomb over the left field by Jordan Walker gives the Cardinals an early 2-0 lead. And now we go to the top of the second inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. 411 Shirley. Heck of a start. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Jimmy. Hi, Paul and everybody. How's it going, Jimmy? Hope you're having a good day. Sam Foreman. We have a lead against The Miz. Wow. Yeah, not many people have had that too much this year. Rush Dash. Walker needs to be in the home run derby. I actually don't want him in the home run derby. For a very simple reason, is there's just too much of a history of hitters screwing up their swing after having a great first half in order to hit home runs for the derby. And as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I know it's a debatable point. I'm not going to pretend that it isn't, that it's some sort of set conclusion, but I just don't want to screw with it because he's the Cardinals' main offensive piece for something that's really just a spectacle, really. Okay. Let's see here. Justin Beasley, that's how you start the game. Oh, boy, it sure is. Well, as far as we're concerned here, so far, that's a pretty good way to start. You don't get a lot of opportunities against Jacob Misiorowski. And so the fact that Jordan Walker just jumped right in and did the business that he needed to do is really quite great. Now, due up for the Brewers in the top of the second inning is going to be Jake Bauers, followed by Garrett Mitchell and Sal Frelick. So that's 5, 6, 7 in the Brewers order. Let's see where the Cardinals are going, if they're going straight to the bullpen. Indeed, they are. I mentioned earlier about the lefty they called up, Bruce Zimmerman, the 31-year-old left-hander. His career regular season numbers, 39 games, an 8-11 record, a 5.64 ERA, and 164 and a third innings pitched. 127 strikeouts, a whip of 1.46. Originally came up with the Baltimore Orioles back in 2020. And then played briefly with Milwaukee last year. So this is a lefty-lefty matchup here against lefty Bauers. Come and set Zimmerman, the first pitch. Strike, slider, down and away on the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. Now, the thing about Zimmerman is he can give you some length if he's pitching well. He comes set above the belt. He winds the 0-1. Head on out there into shallow right field. Going back, picking it up in shallow right is Brian Torres on the lazy fly ball. And the count, and rather, that is the first out of the inning. So, a couple of pitches, a quick out there for Zimmerman. So basically, they need him to eat innings. That's the reason they called him up. Not because he's some great sterling prospect. He's a 31-year-old left-hander. Now, here's Garrett Mitchell, lefty-lefty matchup. Mitchell is hitting 269, the first pitch. Strike, slider on the inner third below the belt, and the count is 0-1. 2-0 Cardinals here in the top of the second inning. Zimmerman comes set. He winds the 0-1 pitch. Strike, curveball right down Broadway, clocked 82 miles an hour out of the left hand of Zimmerman. The count is 0-2. So we'll see what happens here. By all means, Zimmerman, he comes set above the belt. He winds, he deals. Hit on out there in the left field, charging on over is Lars Nootbaar. He's underneath it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Knock him out of the game, power it on. We'll see what happens. Thurman, you having trouble hearing me? That's interesting. Okay. Now, here's Sal Frelick, lefty-lefty matchup, hitting 242 on the year. Nobody on with 2 out, top of the second, 2-0 Cardinals. The first pitch. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball, up and away, and the count is 0-1. If for any reason anybody else is having trouble hearing me, let me know in the chat. Coming set is Zimmerman. He winds the 0-1. Foul tipped off the ankle of Frelick there. He definitely yelped out there in pain. A painful second strike for Sal. He's just kind of walking it off here at the moment. He seems to be all right. No trainers, no manager. Home plate umpire just gives him, "You all right, kid?" And he's fine. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that, DJ Dick Fly. I just wanted to make sure. Coming set is Zimmerman. He winds the 0-2 to Frelick. Hit foul down the third base side. Now to play on the sinker away. 90 miles an hour. The count is 0-2. So a couple quick outs here for Zimmerman, the left-hander. Nobody on with 2 out. Top of the second inning, 2-0 Cardinals. He comes set. And winds. He deals. Hit on up the middle to the left side. Picked up on a couple of hops by Weatherall at short. Throws to first in time for the third out of the inning. No hit, no runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. After 1.5 innings of play, it is 2-0 Cardinals going to the bottom of the second inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbirds action this afternoon, in the first game of this split doubleheader, and you haven't done so already, please leave a like. It's really helping this channel continue to grow, get out to more Cardinals fans so they're able to follow the Cardinals more, on a everyday basis, I should say. I call almost every Cardinal game, sans the technical difficulties with the internet this past weekend, and Cardinals fans know what they're dealing with in that, so it helps get it out to them, and Lord knows I am grateful for it. And if you're not subscribed and you like what you see, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you aboard. With that said, me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Nice inning for Zimmerman. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he is throwing strikes out there. A lot of off-speed stuff. This is not a guy who's going to overpower you. I mean, let's put it this way. He kind of goes in that Jamie Moyer camp, for those of you who remember that name. Do I think the Brewers are going to win? I have no idea. I don't have clairvoyance, man. I have no way to know that. It's the bottom of the second inning. You got to watch it unfold. If anybody is trying to come to me for advice in terms of specifically how to bet their money, I generally don't give gambling advice, not because I have anything against gambling. I just don't want to be the one held responsible for potential monetary loss. It's a very practical thing. So, I don't have clairvoyance here. I know as much as you do. The future is yet to be determined. All right. Matt Svanson, 1 inning. He's just an opener. It's a bullpen game this afternoon. All right, we're back here for the bottom of the second inning. Due up is Church, Fairmean, and Crook. 7, 8, 9 in the order. Righty-lefty matchup against Nate Church. The first pitch for Misiorowski. Fouled straight back on a four-seam fastball away. Clocked 1:02, and the count is 0-1. Nate Church hitting .255 out in center field in full-time duty. Misiorowski comes set. The 0-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. All the psychic indeed. Misiorowski comes set above the belt. The pitch. A curveball just misses the outside corner, and the count is 2-1 to Nate Church. So 2-0 Cardinals here in the bottom of the second inning. Nobody on, nobody out. The center fielder, the left-hand hitting Nate Church against the right-handed throwing Misiorowski. He deals. Hit on out there to left field. Jackson Chourio charging in towards the line into foul territory. He slides, and he drops the ball in foul territory. So he loses that one there. Obviously, Church still takes the strike, and it comes even at 2-2, but he put together quite an effort. He easily ran 40 or 50 feet to try to track that thing down. He got leather on it, too, just couldn't bring it in. Hit the side of his glove and went down to the ground. And then he just kept sliding just because of the dirt on the running track is, rather slick if you were to go sliding on it. It's a 2-2 count. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 2-2. Swinging strike three on the curveball, down and in, and that's the first out of the inning. So Nate Church goes down hacking, and that was a really nasty curveball, too. It basically started out at the letters, and by the time it was done, it was basically behind the back foot of Nate Church in the box. He has no chance. That's the first out. Now here's the righty, Jose Fairmean. Righty-righty matchup. Jose hitting .273. He's down at third today. First pitch from the Miz. A curveball down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Paul, you calling game one righty, game two lefty? Possibly. The 1-0. Strike. Four-seam fastball down Broadway. Clocked 1:03. The count is 1-1. So, Misiorowski seems to be settling down a little bit, as is the case with many power pitchers. He comes set above the belt. He deals. A four-seam fastball well upstairs and in. The count is 2-1. That was a ball that got a little too close to Jose Fairmean's face in triple digits. You don't see that often very more, at least not intentionally. Boy, has the game changed. It's a 2-1 count. Misiorowski comes set above the belt. He deals. hit down the first base side. Now to play on the four-seam fastball away, 102 miles an hour. Count is 2-2. I'll get to that part in a moment. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 2-2. Swinging strike 3 on the four-seam fastball away, and that is the second out of the inning. So Jose Fermin went chasing on that one. It was not in the strike zone, but he misses it for the second out. He should reverse all the graphics and the camera angle for game 2. Goodness. And Braylon Beasley, 24 subs away from 1,000. How about that? Who would have thought it? Now here's a pitch. Swinging strike to Jimmy Crooks, and the count is 0-1. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Speaking of which, a $2 super chat earlier by Braylon. I apologize. I got distracted, Braylon. Thank you so much. It really is appreciated. You are a wonderful supporter of this channel, and I can't thank you enough. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 0-1 to Crooks. Four-seam fastball strike, outer third below the belt, and the count is 0-2. Jimmy Crooks hitting a muscular 164 on the year. I don't know how much longer they can keep him up at the big club hitting that poorly. Nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the second inning. Misiorowski sets the 0-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the four-seam fastball, up and away, and way out of the zone, by the way, for the third and final out of the inning. So, no runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 2 full innings of play, it is 2-0 Cardinals. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. And a $5 super chat with Inquisitor Holt. How have the Cardinals not hired you to do color calling? Your work is more engaging than their current offerings. Well, let me tell you this, Inquisitor. I can assure you I've not heard from the Cardinals. And I have nothing but respect for who they have on air now, and an incredible amount of reverence for the just incredible broadcasters that they've had throughout their run. And we all know who they are. And at least as I see it, in my own very small way, I like to think I'm making some kind of minuscule contribution to that. But I'm glad you enjoy it so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing it. I don't know if I'm ever going to hear from the Cardinals. If I do, it's a 50-50 chance between, hey, come on down to Busch, and here's a cease and desist letter. Quit your activities. We don't want to compete. Oh, Braylon Beasley, hit that subscribe button. A $5 super chat. Man, you don't need to do that. You guys are so cool anyway. But I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it, Braylon. I'm glad you're digging this so much. Missouri Gaming, Cards Ford Paul. He's a bonus baby. I don't know that I'm a bonus baby. Certainly my bank account doesn't reflect that at the moment. But I appreciate the sentiment. Now, due up here for the Brewers in the top of the third inning is going to be Pratt, Ortiz, and Yelich. So 8, 9, and 1 in the Brewers order. Yes, the super chats are going to support my very necessary caffeine habit to keep calling games here. Now, here's Zimmerman, the left-hander that's coming out for his second frame. He'll face Cooper Pratt, lefty-righty matchup. Coming set, Zimmerman. The first pitch to Pratt. Hit on out there to left field, and it is slicing foul for a very long, very loud first strike, and the count is 0-1. All right. So, the rookie shortstop, Cooper Pratt, hitting .204 on the year. Coming set, Zimmerman above the belt. He winds the 0-1. A curveball just missed the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. We got to get a big one for you, Paul, at 1K. Well, we're going to get there soon, I think. Winding is Zimmerman, the pitch. Up and away, a four-seam fastball out of the zone. The count is 2-1. So Zimmerman barely cracks 90 miles an hour. Cooper Pratt, .204, no home runs, 2 RBIs in 18 games, a .535 OPS. He's in his first big league stint. Coming on, Zimmerman, he deals. A splitter down and in and out of the zone. Taken all the way there is Pratt, and the count is 3-1. You're not that far away from it. which is really nice. I mean, the fact that this has been done almost in 2 months is beyond belief. Zimmerman comes wide, the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4 on the cutter away, so Cooper Pratt works a leadoff walk here in the top of the 3rd inning. Oh, goodness. Hey, KCM, afternoon, everyone. I hope this Tuesday is treating everyone well so far. Have I been saying it's Wednesday? It's definitely Tuesday. Now, here's the 9-hitter, Ortiz. He's down at 3rd today. Lefty-righty matchup. Runner leads off first. First pitch. A slider off the plate away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. So right now, Zimmerman is having some trouble hitting the strike zone. Leadoff walks are never a good thing in professional baseball. Heck, they're not even a good thing in Little League. Leading off first is Pratt. Lefty-righty matchup. The 1-0 pitch. A 4-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. You know, if I'm Ollie Marmol here, I have somebody that should be ready on standby. Joey Ortiz, 209, 2 home runs, 20 RBIs in 76 games, a 548 OPS. Because right now, Zimmerman's having a bit of trouble there finding the zone. Runner leads off first. From the stretch is Zimmerman. He deals. A cutter down and in and out of the zone. The count is 3-0. So for as solid a first inning as Zimmerman has had, in this one he is having considerable trouble throwing strikes. Zimmerman comes set above the belt. The 3-0 pitch. Strike, 4-seam fastball down Broadway just below the belt. In fact, I think he got kind of a generous call there. But that's beyond the point. Nobody's challenging it. It's a 3-1 count. Holding all the way there was Ortiz. Runner leads off first. From the stretch is Zimmerman. Throws over to first. Back in time with the head first slide is Cooper Pratt. The count remains 3-1. Should have started McGreevy. Yeah, I tend to agree, but for some reason they felt the need to push him back a day and give him an extra day of rest. All right, infield defense clearly aligned towards left with the righty Ortiz. On deck is Yelich. Coming set is Zimmerman. He deals. Strike, 4-seam fastball whispers over the black of the outside corner thigh high, and the count is 3-2. Christian Yelich is in the on-deck circle. Led off the game with a ground rule double down the right field line. Got stranded at 3rd, however. Looking in, a long look by Zimmerman. Looks like he's doing an acting job. He comes set above the belt. The 3-2 offer, and there goes the runner. Hit on out there into left center field, and it is going to split the outfield to go all the way to the wall. Picking it up at the wall is Newpar. Coming home is Cooper Pratt. And Ortiz has a stand-up RBI double, and that will cut it down to a 2-1 Cardinal lead here in the top of the 3rd inning. So right now there has to be somebody up in the bullpen. And I want it on record because you can go back and see it that I'm already making first guess there. Because right now he's still having trouble throwing strikes. When he does, they're not quality ones. And if you really want to win this game, you got to play and manage like it. Now, here's Christian Yelich, 1-for-1 with the ground rule double. Lefty-lefty matchup. Leading off second is Ortiz. The first pitch to Yelich. A 4-seam fastball upstairs, and the count is 1-0. 242, 6 home runs, 28 RBIs in 56 games, a 710 OPS. He had a spell on the IL earlier this year. Coming set above the belt is Zimmerman, the 1-0. Strike, sinker, inner third at the knees, and the count is 1-1. Runner leads off second with nobody out. Top of the 3rd inning, one already in for the Birds. It's a 2-1 Cardinal lead. Coming set to lefty Zimmerman. Lefty-lefty matchup. The 1-1 offering. Hit to the right side and into center field for a base hit. Coming home scoring is Ortiz, and that will tie it all up at 2. So an RBI single just to the right field side of second for Christian Yelich, and we have ourselves a tie ball game. That was the 23rd pitch so far for Zimmerman, who has gone from effective reliever to batting practice in the span of about 10 minutes between the top of the second and the top of the third. Now here's Jackson Trio, the right-hand hitter. He's 0 for 1 with a sac fly to center that sent Yelich from second to third back in the first. Lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Strike splitter on the inner third at the knees, and the count is 0-1. John Williams, good day, Paul, everyone. Good day to you, John. Trio 291, 13 home runs, 35 RBIs this year. Very good year for him. Coming set from the stretch is Zimmerman. He deals. Strike, four-seam fastball, outer third above the knees, and the count is 0-2. All right. Dan MCL, hi, do you remember me? Just started watching, so what has happened? Yes, of course I remember you. Coming set is Zimmerman. The 0-2 pitch. A splitter in the dirt, clear out of the zone. The count is 1-2. And the reason I remember you, Dan MCL, is because every time you've come here, at least as far as I know, you always ask me in the chat, do you remember me? You're really the only person who does that. I don't have anything against it, but that's actually the thing that makes you memorable, at least in my mind. But yeah, of course I do. Coming set is Zimmerman, the 1-2 pitch. Fouled straight back on the cutter upstairs, and the count remains 1-2. John from Wentzville. I never heard of Zimmerman. No, many of us haven't. He just got called up earlier today in a flurry of transactions for the doubleheader. And no, you should not leave, John. Don't go anywhere. I want you here. It's better with you here. Coming set is Zimmerman. The 1-2 offering. Well upstairs, a cutter away, and the count is 2-2. So standing on first base is Christian Yelich following his RBI single to center. Tying it all up at 2. Jackson Trio has a 2-2 count. Lefty Zimmerman comes set just above the belt. The pitch. Hit on up the middle. Right there is Brian Torres. Stacks on second, one on to first. A double play. Pitcher's best friend. That will erase both runners, both in the way of Yelich and Jackson Trio. And now there is nobody on with 2 outs here in the top of the third inning. All tied at 2. 2 across here in the top of the third for the Brewers. Okay. Now here's the first pitch. A slider strike, inner third below the belt, and the count is 0-1. I put him in timeout. Coming one, Zimmerman, the 0-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball up and in. Just getting out of the way of that is Bryce Terang, the left-hand hitter. The count is 1-1. So Bryce Terang, he's 0 for 1 this year. Scored 62 runs himself so far. Coming one, the 1-1 pitch. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play on the sinker in. The count is 1-2. But this is a reminder that please watch your language in the comments. The ground rules for this are clearly spelled out when you enter it in the chat. We all know better than that. Everyone's welcome. Simply behave and mind your manners. Coming one, Zimmerman, the 1-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down goes Terang for the third and final out of the inning. So, the Brewers, they put 2 across. We have ourselves a tie ball game after 2.5 innings of play. It is all tied at 2. I'm Paul D, and if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action this afternoon in the first game of this doubleheader, and you haven't done so already, please leave a like. It really is helping the channel continue to grow, and I cannot thank you enough for doing so. And if you like what you see, you're not already subscribed, hit subscribe. We got a great growing community here. With that said, all tied at 2, going to the bottom of the third inning. All right. Okay. Boy, you need to get them runs back. Like I said, when it comes to Misiorowski, first up, all credit in the world to Jordan Walker going deep on him. Somebody called that in the chat. I don't remember who it was. But credit to you. He's tough. Anytime these power pitchers begin to settle in, they get a lot tougher. You know, they're a lot of times if you ever get them, it's really oftentimes in the first inning. Then they settle down and then they start doing their thing, and then you might get them on the back end. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here, but it is definitely a well-recognized pattern, not just Jacob Misiorowski, but power pitchers throughout the history of baseball. It's just where it is. I always said that about Roger Clemens. If you can get him in the first, but if you let him get past it, you have some trouble. All right. So, due up here for the Cardinals in the bottom of the third inning is J.J. Wetherall, Ivan Herrera, and Alec Burleson, 1, 2, 3 in the Cardinal order. J.J. Wetherall, in his first plate appearance, got plunked on the knee and has a run scored. And Herrera and Burleson are both 0 for 1. Misiorowski comes set. Righty-lefty matchup. Wetherall in the box. The first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball on the inside corner below the belt. 102 miles an hour. The count is 0-1. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 0-1 pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball down and in, and the count is 0-2. Looking in is Misiorowski. Shakes off Contreras a couple of times, but he has his pitch. He comes set above the belt. Now here's the 0-2. Swinging strike three. Down goes Wetherall hacking for the first out of the inning. I just want an answer. Who do you think is winning? Well, you put that in the present tense, and in the present tense, nobody's winning. It's a tie game. Who do I think will win? I'm not trying to be pedantic, but there is a difference here to be sure. Because there are people that will ask me, what is the situation in the present context as opposed to prognostication. First pitch to Herrera. Foul down the third base side. Now to play on the four-seam fastball up. The count is 0-1. The answer is I really don't know. That is the honest answer. Misiorowski looks in. He comes set above the belt. He deals to Herrera. A curveball out and away and over the lefty batter's box, and the count is 1-1. It looks like Misiorowski had a little trouble. He slid a little bit on his follow-through there. He was a little frustrated with himself. As much of a cool, laid-back guy as he is when he's not pitching, he has, shark eyes when he does. He comes set. He deals. A curveball out and away and over the lefty batter's box, and the count is 2-1. That was actually almost a repeat of the previous pitch. Ivan Herrera 0 for 1 with the ground out, 252 on the year. Nobody on with one out following the strikeout swinging by Wetherall. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Ivan Herrera, who steps out of the box, wipes the sweat off his brow, pops the helmet back on, looks long and hard at his bat, and steps into the box. Misiorowski comes set above the belt. The 2-1 offering. Head on out there to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. And it is gone. A solo home run for Ivan Herrera. Ivan the Terrible strikes again. And the Cardinals now have a 3-2 lead. Oh, Ivan Herrera, 378 feet distance to left. And the Cardinals have a 3-2 lead. Oh, goodness. A one-out solo bombola there by Ivan Herrera. He sat there admiring it for a couple of seconds in the box. And let's see here on the replay. Oh, boy, he was totally dialed into that thing. The launch angle must have been insane. Now the first pitch to Burleson. Foul back on the four-seam fastball up and away, and the count is 0-1. Ran into a fastball at 104. Yeah, the 1-0 pitch. Correction, the 0-1 pitch. A curveball out and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. So he's wearing the pendant, as is the way. Coming sets Misiorowski. He deals. A curveball down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Into the box is Burleson. It's a 2-1 count. Nobody on with one out. 3-2 Cardinals, one already in. He deals. Foul down the third base side. Now to play on the four-seam fastball on the outside corner. Clocked 102 miles an hour. The count is 2-2. That's Herrera's second home run off the Miz. That's quite an accomplishment. Misiorowski comes set. He deals. Chop foul down the first base side. Now to play. John Wilms with a $10 super. Thank you so much. Paul, you put this towards an Italian dinner with Mrs. Game Mike. If we get enough super chats, we can rent the whole hill, St. Louis, and everyone have a big party. Go Cards. Oh, I'll be there with bells on, John. You can better believe that. Thank you so much. Misiorowski comes set, the 2-2. Hit foul down the first base side. Now to play, and the slider down in. I'm shocked that Burleson managed to get a piece of that thing. Misiorowski comes set above the belt. The 2-2 offering. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play. Four-seam fastball. That was the 41st pitch for Misiorowski here, and 2 1/3 innings of work. Nobody on with one out. Bottom of the third inning. One already in following the solo home run by Ivan Herrera to left. The Cardinals retake the lead. They're up 3-2 here in the bottom of the third inning. Alec Burleson 0 for 1 with the flyout. 280, 14 home runs, 63 RBIs in 87 games. Coming set is Misiorowski. He deals. Chop foul down the first base side. Now to play on the slider. The count remains 2-2. No, believe me, I'd be more than happy to have a big game bike party with all of you on the hill. I love the hill. It's one of the reasons that I was compelled to move here, is that I wouldn't have to lose my high quality Italian food. Misiorowski comes set above the belt. He deals. Hit to the right side, fielded on a couple out by Terang. He throws to first in time for the second out of the inning. A long at bat there by Alec Burleson, but he bounces out to second. Now here's Jordan Walker, who in his first at bat of the day hit a 2-run home run to left off Misiorowski, giving the Cardinals a lead 2-0 at the time. And it was quite something to say the least. Had an apogee of 65 feet, went 386 to left. Righty-righty matchup, nobody on with 2 out. The first pitch from the Miz. Foul tipped on the four-seam fastball up and in, clocked 104 miles an hour. The count is 0-1. But really, John, thank you so much. I mean, that's really generous. It's very sweet. And you're such a great contribution here. It's a pleasure to have you every game. Coming set is Misiorowski, the 0-1. A four-seam fastball away and out of the zone, clocked 103. The count is 1-1. Chat, we're meeting up at Paul's place to help him move to a new house. Who's in? Boy, do we need it. The 1-1. There's a fly ball out there into shallow center field. Terang is out there calling for it. He just gets it on the extended left arm for the third and final out of the inning. But not before Ivan Herrera puts up a huge bomb hole to left. 1 run on 1 very big hit. No walks and nobody left on. After 3 full innings of play, it is 3-2 Cardinals going to the top of the 4th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Okay. I'm almost afraid to ask, Max. Whoa. What? Kid man, Miz looks beatable. I would still pay a king's ransom for him because a one pitcher is the hardest piece to come. Yeah, it really is. It's the most valuable commodity in baseball. And Misiorowski, he's basically, like I said earlier, he's a 1 in a billion talent. But the thing that's interesting, and the thing I really do worry about, and hopefully I'm wrong because I don't want, I want to beat the guy. I don't want to see anything happen to his career. But when I see an outlier to that extent, and the kind of stuff he has, you worry like, oh man, is this guy, just a couple of years away from surgery? Because that seems to be true of every major pitcher in the big leagues nowadays. But he seems to have very clean mechanics as far as I can tell. And, the Brewers pitching lab, they have quite a resume so far. What can I say? Oh, congratulations, Max. You're the starting catcher? Now, in terms of your school, is there like the standard like JV varsity thing, or is there just one team? I want to know. I really appreciate when you share your experiences playing here, and that's true of everybody, by the way. But you're currently doing it, so naturally it catches my attention. Now we're back for the top of the fourth inning. Zimmerman out for his third frame. Gave up a couple of runs there in the top of the third. Leading off here is William Contreras. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Contreras is 0 for 1. Zimmerman winds and deals. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Next pitch will be Zimmerman's 35th of the afternoon. 3-2 Cardinals, top of the fourth inning. He winds the 1-0 pitch. Strike slider on the outer, third at the knees, and the count is 1-1. Yeah, 2 arms off the Miz is pretty awesome. You got to take pictures. You have video just to make sure you can prove it. The 1-1 pitch. A sinker away off the plate, and the count is 2-1. Randy Johnson, he threw heat and was durable. Yeah, and he's also kind of an exception, but he had other issues. Coming set is Zimmerman. He winds the 2-1 pitch. Hit to the left side. And diving stop there by Fermin at third. He throws to first on the bounce. And he gets Contreras by half a step at first for the first out of the inning. Oh, what a play by Jose Fermin. Diving to his right side. Picks it up. Throwing from on top of the line. Gets to his feet. Throws over to first on a bounce. He gets Contreras by just... Oh, boy, it's almost a tie. I think they're going to, if they look at that thing, they may overturn it. And they're not looking at it. They're not looking at it. And it stands. They're not going to review. Now, here is Jake Bauers, lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. A curveball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. But as far as Randy Johnson goes, there's a couple of things. First off, he did deal with persistent back issues. Jake Bauers 0 for 1 with a lineout, 264 with 16 home runs. Nobody on with one out, top of the fourth inning, 3-2 Cardinals. The 1-0 pitch. A slider up and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Once again, a lefty-lefty matchup. So he dealt with a lot of back issues. I'm not surprised. He's such a big guy. And he had serious mechanical issues. He didn't have a winning record until he was 30, and then he never had a losing record really, again, in any meaningful way. The 2-0 pitch, hit to the right side and down the right field line into the corner. Playing the carom there is Jordan Walker, cruising into second with a stand-up double is Bauers with one out. And the Brewers have a runner on second with one out here in the top of the fourth inning. So he definitely did have injury issues. They just weren't elbow issues. And since he pitched so basically halfway into his 40s, it became more pronounced with time. And I also think he had some knee issues as well, because, the guy was, 6'10"? But his durability overall was pretty good, because once he figured out his mechanics, thanks, to a chance meeting with Nolan Ryan, it changed baseball history. Runner leads off second. Now the first pitch of Garrett Mitchell. Chop foul, rolls over towards the on-deck circle. The count is 0-1. Garrett Mitchell is 0 for 1 today, with a flyout, hitting .268, 8 home runs, 42 RBIs in 79 games, and .822 OPS. Bauers leads off second. It's an 0-1 count. Lefty-lefty matchup. Coming set Zimmerman from the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. A sinker down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Oh, you're just referring to his arm, and he had a long career. Yeah, he did. He was something else. He was a demon out there. The intensity. Coming set above the belt is Zimmerman, the 1-1 offering. Head on up the middle. Fielded there on a hop in shallow center field is Weatherholt. Throws to first, not in time. So Garrett Mitchell beats the long throw from shallow center field by J.J. Weatherholt. And now the Brewers have runners on first and second with one out here in the top of the fourth inning. The fact that J.J. Weatherholt got to the ball and it was even a contemplatable play that he made there is utterly outstanding. he got on, and all the credit in the world to Garrett Mitchell. He hit that thing very well. And he was not taking anything for granted. Now, here's the lefty-right fielder, Sal Frelick. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out, 241 with 3 home runs, 31 RBIs in 83 games, a 641 OPS. Runners on first and second with 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning, 3-2 Cardinals. The lefty journeyman Zimmerman is on the bump. He comes set, the first pitch. Putting down the bunt is Frelick, but it bunts foul at home plate, and the count is 0-1. Jake the Rake. That's actually not a bad nickname. If I were him, I'd take it. On deck is the rookie shortstop, Cooper Pratt, walked in his first at-bat. Lefty-lefty matchup. Runners lead on first and second with 1 out. It's an 0-1 count. Zimmerman comes set, the 0-1 pitch. And there is a fly ball out into center field. Underneath it is Church fighting the sun. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Both runners stay exactly where they are. And now the Brewers have runners on first and second with 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. The big unit was impressive in his prime. Hopefully Miz has a long career with an American League team. Anywhere but the NL Central. Now here's a rookie, Cooper Pratt, a walk and a run scored. Runners lead off first and second. From the stretch is Zimmerman, lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch to Pratt. Strike splitter on the inside corner above the knees. The count is 0-1. But that's the thing about this Brewers lineup. I was talking about it last night. There are no breaks. They're always, full court press on you. Coming set above the belt is Zimmerman. He's at the stretch. He deals. Hit and foul tipped on the splitter away, and the count is 0-2. So Zimmerman is perhaps 1 strike away from ending this rally here for the Brewers in the top of the 4th inning. Runners on first and second with 2 out. Infield is playing straight away and back. Outfield defense slightly shaded to the right side. Coming set at the belt is Zimmerman. The 0-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down goes Pratt for the 3rd and final out of the inning. Cooper Pratt did a huge favor there to Zimmerman. That thing was easily a foot off the plate away. He swung underneath it. So after 3.5 innings of play, it is 3-2 Cardinals going to the bottom of the 4th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action this afternoon for Game 1 of this split doubleheader here on Game Mike, and you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. It is helping this channel grow, get out to more Cardinals fans who need all the help they can at the moment, following the team every day because there's no regional sports network anymore and you need 3 or 4 different subscriptions to do it, in addition to the whole Rubik's Cube of finding out where it's on any given day. I'm calling almost every game here on Game Mike. Sans some technical issues this past weekend. And that's a big deal. And if you like what you see anyway, I would ask that you do leave a like because I greatly appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed and you like what you see, hit subscribe. A great growing community of Cardinal fans and baseball fans. With that said, me here, you there. This is Bombers Game Mike. 3-2 Cardinals going to the bottom of the 4th. Harold Houseman. Good to see you, Harold. Nolan, Randy, Gibson, Koufax, Martinez. That is my all-time starting rotation. Man, with a rotation like that, you can win 130 games, assuming they all stay healthy. The Brewers dynasty will be strong for many, many years. Well, there is a fallacy in your logic, Flat Smack. In order to be a dynasty, you have to win a championship. That has not happened. Division crowns do not a dynasty make. So don't put the cart before the horse. Don't grant them something that the Brewers have the responsibility themselves to accomplish. I think we've all watched enough baseball to know how favorites can ultimately end up, getting stuck in the mud. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but don't put the cart before the horse. Now, here is Lars Nootbaar, 1 for 1. The first pitch from the Miz. A 4-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Nobody on, nobody out. The 1-0 pitch to Newt. Strike, four-seam fastball on the outer third at the knees, clocked 100 miles an hour. The count is 1-1. Lars Nootbaar in his last at-bat doubled. Coming set is Misiorowski, the 1-1 pitch. Hit down the left field line, and it's slicing foul into the stands. The count is 1-2. So bottom of the fourth inning, 3-2 Cardinals. Nobody on, nobody out. A tight game here coming up against the best in baseball, who will most certainly be starting the All-Star game for the National League in Philadelphia next week. He has earned it. He comes set above the belt. The 1-2 offering. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone, clocked 103. The count is 2-2. Coming set is Misiorowski. He deals. Hit on up there, up the middle. Fielded there by Terang, just right of second. He throws to first just in time to get Nootbaar flying down the line for the first out of the inning. So Lars Nootbaar grounds out 4-3 on the play. And now here comes the lefty Brian Torres, who's at second. Remember, J.J. Weatherall is at short today. Ollie Marmol's clearly giving Mason Wynn the day off. They will interchange from time to time. Last pitch was Misiorowski's 51st. Nobody on with one out, bottom of the fourth inning, 3-2 Cardinals. Here's the pitch. A four-seam fastball well upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Back into the box is Misiorowski. Righty-lefty matchup. He comes set. He deals. A four-seam fastball away and off the plate. The count is 2 balls and no strikes. I guarantee nobody's crowds the plate in that starting rotation. No, definitely not. They want to live. Coming set is Misiorowski, the 2-0. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball downstairs, and the count is 2-1. I mean, there's literally nobody in that all-time starting five that wouldn't knock your head off for crowding the plate and dig it in. Coming set is Misiorowski, the 2-1. A four-seam fastball downstairs, and the count is 3-1. The question is, who's the most patient of those five before they do it? And what hospital will you be going to afterwards? Coming sets Misiorowski. He deals. There's a fly ball out to right field. Going back at the track against the wall. And Sal Frelick pulls it in on the warning track for the second out of the inning. So a long fly there by Torres. It couldn't have flown much longer and stayed in the park to right center. But comes down for Sal Frelick, who tracks it down on the warning track for the second out of the inning. Now, here's the lefty Nate Church. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, 253, 8 home runs, 28 RBIs in 70 games, a 710 OPS. Coming set is Misiorowski, the first pitch to Church. A curveball down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. That's actually a pitch right there, that curveball, sometimes like a turbo slider down and in the lefties, that Misiorowski has a lot of success with. He also throws it in the high 90s. He comes set, the 1-0 offering. Foul down the third base side. Now to play on the four-seam fastball up and away, and the count is 1-1. Fire Phoenix. Hey, Paul D. What's going on, chat? Let's go Cardinals. Cheers to the Pacific Northwest. Misiorowski set, the 1-1 pitch. Hit foul down the third base line and out of play on the four-seam fastball away. The count is 1-2. Came in at 101 miles an hour. Yes, I am live for both games tonight, Ethan. Coming set above the belt is Misiorowski. The 1-2 pitch. Hit down the third base line and foul on the four-seam fastball up and away. He just kind of slapped at that thing. Count is 1-2. So nobody on with two out, bottom of the fourth inning, 3-2 Cardinals. It's a 1-2 count here to Nate Church. Jacob Misiorowski's thrown 60 pitches so far. He comes set. The 1-2 offering. A curveball bounces out there in front of the lefty batter's box, and the count is even at 2-2. Infield defense clearly shaded towards right with the lefty Church up. It's a 2-2 count. Misiorowski's 2-2 offering. Hit on down the left field line. Giving chase. There is Trio near the line. He hauls it in for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 4 full innings of play, it is 3-2 Cardinals going to the top of the 5th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. 59. When I think about it and realize just how nuts that is, that's like 6 consecutive shutouts. Complete game shutouts. All right. Yay for JJ. Be sure and hydrate, Paul, in this heat. You too, JB. Are you guys in the sun? Well, luckily, I'm in a centrally cooled location here in the studio. Speaking of which, a little programming note. So, towards the end of the week, because we are in the process of moving house, this whole thing has to come with us. That's going to take a little time for me to set back up again. So there's going to be some games clearly that are going to be audio only. I'm also going to be on the road coming up this upcoming week. However, that's just the All-Star game. You might get a couple of games into the second half where I'm audio only. But it's a really major transition for both of us going into a new place. And this is a intricate setup. So I just ask for your patience, all of this, and enjoy the radio call. But believe me, so long as I have internet to call it that's consistent, I'll be calling it. So that's just something to be mindful of here, just because, a whole bunch of various events are converging at the same time. And this is not the easiest setup to transplant, but transplant it will be. It'll just take a little time. Fire Phoenix, please like and share the stream. It does wonders for the algorithm. Yeah, it really does. It gets it out to more people, and Cardinal fans and baseball fans, and people seem to enjoy it. And if you like it, spread the joy to others, All right, we're back here for the top of the 5th inning. Due up for the Brewers is Ortiz, Yelich, and Chiriot. 9-1-2 in the Brewers' order. Zimmerman out for his 4th frame. Lefty-righty matchup against Ortiz. Here's the pitch. Now here's a fly ball out to center field. A couple of steps over to his left is Nate Church fighting the sunshades down. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Ortiz flies out to center. I put out 8 in your scorecard. In his previous at-bat, he had an RBI double. Now back to the top of the order. Here is the lefty, Christian Yelich, who is 2 for 2 today with an RBI. He tied the game at the time. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch to Yelich. A cutter down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I'm going to be talking to him between game 1 and 2. Yeah. Coming wide is Zimmerman, the 1-0 pitch. Hit on out there to left field, charging in. There is Dupar. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So Yelich flies out to left, put out 7 in your scorecard for the second out. Now here's Jackson Chiriot, the right-hander. He is 0 for 2 today. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Top of the 5th inning, nobody on, 2 out. 3-2 Cardinals here in game 1 of this split doubleheader. Second game starts at 6:45 p.m. tonight. I'll be live at 6:35 here. Coming set is Zimmerman. The first pitch to Chiriot. A splitter just off the outside corner, ruled a ball, and the count is 1-0. Jackson Chiriot, 289, 13 home runs, 35 RBIs in 55 games. He is out and left today. Coming set above the belt is Zimmerman. The 1-0 pitch. A splitter in the dirt, check swing. Did he go? No, says Blue down the first baseline, and the count is 2-0. All righty. Back on the bump is Zimmerman. He comes set. He winds the pitch. A slider just upstairs and away, ruled a ball, and the count is now 3 balls and no strikes. Coming wind is Zimmerman, the 3-0. Strike, sinker, outside corner below the belt, and the count is 3-1. Chiriot going into statue mode there in 3-0. And you can't blame him. Why automatically let him back into the at-bat by taking the chance of swinging there? unless it's a serious pitch to hit. Common said Zimmerman, he wants the 3-1 offering. Strike, slider on the outer third below the belt, and the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So nobody on, 2 out, top of the 5th inning, 3-2 Cardinals. On deck is the lefty Bryce Terang. He's 0 for 2. It's a 3-2 count. Coming set above the belt is Zimmerman. He wants a 3-2 pitch. And he popped him on up into foul territory, giving chase his crook there near the Cardinal dugout. Over is Burleson in front of the railing. He makes the catch for the 3rd and final out of the inning. So Jackson Trio fouls out right in front of the Cardinal dugout. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 4.5 innings of play, it is 3-2 Cardinals here in Game 1 of this split doubleheader. I'm Paul D, and if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike and you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. It really does benefit the growing channel a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed already and you're enjoying yourself, hit subscribe and come on back. We'd love to see you. With that said, 3-2 Redbirds go into the bottom of the 5th. Let's go to the chat. 5 innings, 2 runs against Brewers. Ugly but effective. Sometimes that is how it happens. Yeah, I mean, and Fire Phoenix, you're making quite the move, to say the least. Alrighty. So, we really have ourselves a ball game here. Paul, you really need some more Cardinals paraphernalia. You know what? That's interesting that you should mention that, Uncle Sam, and pleasure to make your acquaintance, Uncle Sam. I've seen your likeness since basically my earliest memories, and it's really a pleasure to finally meet you. I am playing with you, of course. But it is good to see you in all seriousness. I actually have quite a bit of it. A lot of it is in Jersey paraphernalia. And in the new setup, I have some stuff that I would like to be able to incorporate. I mean, there's only so much you can do in terms of what's going on screen, just because there's only so much frame in order to get like a good shot to do the action for this. But, I have quite a bit of it. Like I said, a lot of it is the threads. Because I collect jerseys. I love jerseys. I think they're great. I thought they were awesome since I was a kid. And now as an adult, I have the ability to actually acquire them. Misiorowski's out for his 5th frame. Here's the first pitch to Jose Fermin. Fouled down the third base side now to play. The count is 0-1 of the four-seam fastball up and in. Fermin is 0 for 1. It's a righty-righty matchup. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-2 Redbirds. Boy, oh boy. I don't know how Fermin actually got a piece of that thing. The 0-1 pitch. A curveball down and away. Ruled the ball. The count is 1-1. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 1-1. A four-seam fastball up and in, just out of the way there of Fermin. A little, I don't know, I don't think it's intentional chin music. Paul. Paul, no dude video. Let's do this. You put a green screen behind, and the chat group can put the green screen, what we wanted. The 2-1. And he fouled off his leg there, and Fermin falls to the ground. He's in quite a bit of pain. He gets up on his own power, but boy, oh boy, that foul tip looks like somewhere in the lower extremities was less than pleasant. It's a second strike. Oh, green screen. Green screen. Goodness gracious. 30th game in a row with 100 likes. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you for bringing that to attention to me, Justin. I really do appreciate it. Couldn't be any luckier. I couldn't be any luckier. I mean, I do my part. The Cardinals do their part. But this thing is nothing without every single one of you. You are the ones that make this fun. It's a 2-2 count. Fermin is back into the box. Misiorowski comes set. The 2-2 offering. Swinging strike 3 on the slider down Broadway, and that is the first out of the inning. Fermin swung over the top of that thing, and it definitely almost had like Frisbee-ish action to it there. going, the slowest pitch of the day he's thrown so far. I don't know if it actually is, but a 91-mile-an-hour slider, which in and of itself is something to behold. Now, here's the lefty-hitting catcher, Jimmy Crooks. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with one out, bottom of the fifth. Here's a pitch. A four-seam fastball fouled straight back from upstairs. The count is 0-1. Now, Jimmy Crooks here is interesting because what do you do with him? Do you send him back down to Memphis because he's not hitting? Do you run with Pages? I mean, what's the answer here? Misiorowski comes set. The 0-1 offering. Swinging strike on the cutter down and in. The count is 0-1 because he's almost become an automatic out. Like you see Jimmy Crooks come up and you say to yourself, oh, God. Well, let's see if I'm feeling lucky today. And that's not a good thing. And you can tell he's frustrated by it. His defense has certainly improved, but, you're hitting in the 160s. Misiorowski's 0-2 offering. A curveball down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. The blue jerseys are whatever. You buy the white jersey. That local t-shirt shop or Cardinals place has them. Oh, I have all of them, John. The 1-2 pitch. Hit foul down the third base side. Now to play on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 1-2. This is just the one I felt like wearing today. I have two of the home whites. I have two of the away grays. I have the alternate Saturday cream jersey with St. Louis across the chest. It's all there. I have an on-field batting practice. Believe me, I've been collecting for years. Coming set is Misiorowski, the 1-2. Chop foul down the first base side. Now to play on the curveball down and into Jimmy Crooks. And the count is 1-2. It's unbelievable, Fire Phoenix. I still can't believe it. Nobody on with one out, bottom of the fifth inning. 1-2 count here. 3-2 Cardinals against Misiorowski. Misiorowski comes set. The 1-2 offering. Swinging strike three on the curveball. Down and in for the second out of the inning. 73rd pitch there by Misiorowski. Now back to the top of the order with J.J. Weatherall, who is 0 for 1 today with a hit by pitch in his first plate appearance. Nobody on with two out. Bottom of the fifth inning, 32 Cardinals. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch to Weatherall. Hit to the right side. Fielded there by Bowers at first. Takes it to the bag himself for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. After 5 full innings of play, it is 3-2 Cardinals here in Game 1 of the split doubleheader today. I'm Paul D., and this is Bombers Game Mike. So a quick programming note. I am calling both sides of this doubleheader. For Game 2, it'll obviously be a new stream because there's going to be roughly 2 hours, 3 hours between games. That second game is scheduled for 6:45 p.m. Central Time, first pitch at Busch. I will be back here again live tonight for Game 2 at 6:35 p.m. Central Time. Scheduled first pitch for Game 2, 6:45 p.m. Central Time. Going live here on Game Mike, 6:35 p.m. Central Time. I hope you're all there. It'd be great to see you. And get ourselves a part. Let's go to the chat. 13 likes away, my friends. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. Q-Man, it was real tough to lose those 2 jerseys and my Stan Musial bat, as well as my 7 prize guitars. How the heck did that happen? Q-Man, I think we all need some explanation here on that. That's ridiculous. That's highway robbery. What happened? Do I speak other languages? Good question. I took Japanese for 3 years. I still possess some of that. I still remember my hiragana and katakana. My kanji is not great. Believe me, I'm nowhere near the 2,000 you need to read a newspaper in Tokyo. And it's been a long time, too. But it was a great introduction to the culture. I had some really good Japanese teachers. And then some Spanish, because I had to take that in college, which it turns out is a lot easier than Japanese, because you're not learning a language that's double enciphered compared to yours. Now, here's Zimmerman. He's out for his 5th frame. The first pitch to Bryce Terang. Sinker strike, outer third below the belt, and the count is 0-1. Bryce Terang, the second baseman today, is 0 for 2. Due up is Terang, Contreras, and Bowers. So this is a lefty-lefty matchup. The 0-1 to Terang. Head on out there to left field. Coming in a couple steps is Newbar. He's underneath it. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. But no, Japanese is interesting because it's effectively double enciphered, right? So you have the hiragana and the katakana, and you start out with like the, what they call the romaji, where you're just writing it out in English letters, but then you have to learn the hiragana and the katakana. And if you've never done that before, and you're like 15 years old, it keeps you up at night. Now here is William Contreras, the right-hander. He's 0 for 2. The first pitch from Zimmerman. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. I would say, though, in general, just given how many more Hispanic Americans there are in the United States, that Spanish is a more practical language than Japanese. It's certainly come in handy from time to time. Coming set is Zimmerman. The 1-0 pitch. A cutter up and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Oh, I couldn't possibly do that. Justin. I can barely order food in Japanese, let alone call baseball. But the word for baseball in Japanese is yakyu. He winds the 2-0. Uncle Charlie strike right down Broadway. Backing right out on that pitch was Contreras, as if he was completely disinterested, and oddly enough, and the count is 2-1. But there's something significant about that. Here, I'll tell you in a moment. Coming wind is Zimmerman, the 2-1. Strike, splitter, inner third below the belt, and the count is 2-2 to Contreras. So with Japanese and foreign words, they have their own special set of characters for it known as katakana. And they basically find a way to squeeze in those foreign words in a Japanese-sounding way. The 2-2 pitch. There's a fly ball out there to shallow right field. Underneath it is Burleson. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So Contreras flies out 3 for the second out. So instead of, using katakana to call it, like a basu baru, because there's no L, sound in Japanese, and there's only N and M's that don't have vowels after the consonant, they gave it an actual Japanese name, and which is yakyu, which definitely speaks to how important it is to them. Now here's Trevor Bowers. He's 1 for 2. Lefty matchup. Here's the first pitch. A cutter upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Nobody on with 2 out here in the top of the 6th inning. 3-2 Cardinals. Zimmerman here, the journeyman left-hander, just called up from Memphis before this game. He's in his 5th frame. He comes wine, the 1-0 pitch. Head on out there into right field. Going back is Jordan Walker towards the corner. It's over his head, and he picks it up right in front of the wall. Going around first and into second. Sliding into second with a 2-out double is Bowers. And now the Brewers have a runner on second with 2 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Bowers is having a really good day. A very good day. All right. Firepinks, I want to learn Japanese. It's definitely worth learning. No doubt. Just in terms of effort, there's kind of like a high barrier to entry, but if you're motivated, anybody can do it, no doubt. Runner leads off second now. Here's Garrett Mitchell, the left-hand hitting center fielder. Here's the pitch. A sinker off the plate away, and the count is 1-0. Garrett Mitchell, 1 for 2 with a single, 271, 8 home runs, 42 RBIs in 79 games, and 826 OPS. Bowers leads off second following the 2-out double. Lefty-lefty matchup. Coming set above the belt is Zimmerman, the 1-0 pitch. Head on out there into center field, charging in is Nate Church. He plays it on a hop. Coming home from third is Bowers. Here's the throw, here's the play, and he is ruled safe. And that will tie the game at 3. Moving to second on the throw there is Garrett Mitchell. And now the game is all tied at 3 here in the top of the 6th inning. And they want a review on the play, and I think it's a very good call on their part. When I saw that throw come in, I was very surprised he was called safe. He may very well be safe. Let's find out here on the replay. Boy, I think he's out. I think he tagged his leg before a hand hit the plate. Let's find out right here. This could tell us a lot. Oh boy, that is really close. Maybe here? I don't know. It's hard to get a good angle on this one, which in and of itself is condemning for an overturned call because they need something that, is really beyond reasonable doubt that the call was incorrect. But we go to the off-site replay center. We have a play under official review. So the MLB off-site replay center, as I so often like to say, looks like NASA Mission Control, but is better funded. So we await the outcome of this play under review. This is a good challenge either way. I tend to agree with that, yeah. I think he ends up safe. Hands seem to go over the base. You might be right, KCM. I think you're probably right. It's going to be hard to find evidence to refute the call on this, especially given how much dirt was kicked up with the head-first slide. That really obscures things here. And the play is confirmed, and it's a tie ball game. We are all tied at 3 here in the top of the 6th inning after a pair of 2-out doubles by Bowers and Mitchell. Leading off second is Garrett Mitchell after his RBI, effectively his RBI double. Here's Sal Frelick, lefty-lefty matchup. He's 0 for 2. Here's a pitch. A sinker upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Sal Frelick, this season with runners in scoring position, 2 out, hitting a $152. Runner leads off second. Zimmerman looks in, comes set at the belt. He's from the stretch. The 1-0 offering. A curveball down and away and out of the zone. Laying off that one is Frelick. Clocked 80 miles an hour. The count is 2-0. It was a very good throw, and it was a much closer play than I thought it would be. I think you're right, KCM. Infield defense clearly shaded towards right. Fermin up against the lip of the grass at third. Stepping off the rubber is Zimmerman. He has thrown 70 pitches so far since entering the game at the beginning of the top of the second. He comes set at the stretch. The 2-0 to Frelick. A slider strike right down Broadway below the belt, and the count is 2-1. Runner leads off second. From the stretch is Zimmerman. The pitch. Hit to the right side. Fielded there by Burleson. Covering is Zimmerman. Gets in the throw, and he just beats Frelick at first for the third and final out of the inning. However, 1 run on 2 hits. No walks. 1 left on. We are all tied at 3 going to the bottom of the 6th inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mic. You only broadcast Cardinal games. I just found your channel. Yeah, at present, that is my thing. I know there are other guys out there that do this sort of thing, where they call other games, and maybe at some point in the future that would make sense. I'm beginning to prepare in terms of calling NFL games in the fall and winter, which is going to be a challenge for a lot of different reasons I'm not going to get into here. It's not that it's not possible, it just takes a fair amount of preparation. Because I keep getting asked about that, which suggests to me there's an interest. But there's still things that need to be figured out. Luckily, I have some time to do that. But yeah, presently for baseball, I'm only calling the Cardinals. I'm going to be calling the All-Star game. I'm going to be doing that with Liam, better known as Jolly Good Takes. He is a Briton who's a San Francisco Giants fan. Good dude, loves the game, very knowledgeable. I'm actually going to be talking to him between game 1 and 2, just in a pre-production chat type thing. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. So we're all tied at 3. If the Brewers sweep the Cards, it would be a rare 5-game sweep. It certainly would be. I was once a third owner of rental equipment in St. Louis. I met pretty much all 80s rock acts. Did you ever know Bob Heil? Q-Man, did you ever meet Bob Heil? because I know he was also from the St. Louis area. He was also into audio equipment specifically. I know he passed several years ago. And, like the Heil PR40 is a great broadcasting mic. Now, here's Ivan Herrera. He'll lead it off here. Last at-bat, solo home run, gave the Cards a 3-2 lead at the time. The first pitch to Herrera. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway, 101 miles an hour, and the count is 0-1. That's the 75th pitch for the Miz. Nobody out, nobody out. Bottom of the sixth inning, all tied at 3. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 0-1 Herrera. Hit down the right field line and out of play on the slider, and the count is 0-2. Am I still local here in St. Louis? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 0-2 pitch. Hit down there towards third. Picked up there by the third baseman. Throws to first in time to get Herrera by a step for the first out of the inning. So, Herrera bounces out. 5-3 for the first out. Now, here's the lefty Alec Burleson. Had a long at-bat last time against Misiorowski. He's 0 for 2. Nobody on with one out, bottom of the sixth, all tied at 3. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball up and in, and the count is 0-1. When Misiorowski is right, you have so much trouble squaring up his fastballs because they move so much in the zone. The 0-1 pitch. Hit foul behind home plate on the cutter, and the count is 0-2. That, and for every pitcher today especially, you have to imagine that the heat and humidity does take a serious toll on this. And, Misiorowski grew up in a suburb of Kansas City, so it's not like he has not been through this before. But, we're all human. Even this fella. He comes set, the 0-2, fouled straight back of the four-seam fastball up and away, and the count remains 0-2. I don't remember faces better than names. Okay. All right. Misiorowski comes set above the belt. He deals to Burleson. Curveball down and in and out of the zone. Laying off that one is Burleson. The count is 1-2. I have two Beasleys doing full court press. The 1-2 pitch. A curveball down and away and out of the zone. The count comes even at 2-2. Cardinals need to hire you to broadcast their games. That could. Well, thank you so much. That really does mean a lot to me. I put a lot of effort into this, and I still have a ways to go, but that's a lot of encouragement. I appreciate that. The 2-2 to Burleson. Hit foul down the first base side and out of play on the curveball down and in. The count is 2-2. The fact of the matter, this is the thing that keeps driving me. There's a need, there's a void here for obvious reasons. And I enjoy doing it. You guys enjoy watching it, and that's just the best of life. There's nowhere else I'd rather be doing nothing else I'm doing. The 2-2 for Misiorowski. Hit foul down the first base side and out of play. The count is 2-2. That came in at 104, by the way. That was down and in. Burleson, this is the second time around here where he's taken Misiorowski through one of these really long at-bats where he's just working and fouling off one thing after another. Misiorowski comes set. He deals. Swinging strike 3 on the four-seam fastball up and in for the second out of the inning. That was the 85th pitch for Misiorowski. Now, I have to imagine they probably will want to protect him here, but we'll find out. At the very least, he'll finish out this inning in all likelihood. Now, here comes Jordan Walker. We all remember what he did in the bottom of the first inning with that 2-run home run. Gave the Cardinals a 2-0 lead at the time. Righty-righty matchup, nobody on with 2 out. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the slider down and away, and the count is 0-1. Well, Todd Spinner, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad it can keep you company. Misiorowski sets the 0-1. Chop foul down the third base side and out of play on the slider, and the count is 0-2. And for those of you that are at work, maybe you're home today, who knows what the situation is. But thank you so much for joining me here on this Tuesday afternoon for Game 1 and making me part of your day. That's a very important thing. Misiorowski sets. Time is graded by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. And as I was saying last night, my saying that in regards to Jordan Walker is very quickly becoming a drinking game, if not an outright meme. It's an 0-2 count. Misiorowski sets. The pitch. Swinging strike three on the slider, down and away for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. We go to the top of the seventh inning, all tied at 3 here in game 1 of this split doubleheader. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Bad Mike. Hey, Paul, listen to you at Amazon while I'm at work. St. Peter's, keep up the good work. Well, I will say this, Bad Mike. Cheers to you and cheers to St. Peter's. I'm glad to be part of your day and every one of you. You know, that's the thing that's interesting about Cardinals fans, and I was kind of hitting on this a bit earlier because I've heard a lot of complaints about the guys that are doing it for Cardinals.tv and the guys that are doing it on KMOX. And I have not a negative thing to say about any of them. They're doing things themselves in their career that at present I can only dream of. Who am I to criticize that? And I wouldn't criticize it anyway because I don't have a criticism of that. But the fact of the matter is my opinion there doesn't really matter. It's everybody here is watching whose opinion that matters. And Cardinals fans, especially now where we are in 2026, throughout their lives have had, for the most part, one incredible broadcaster after another, making an incredible contribution to the game more generally on the professional highest level for how games are called. And so when I get a compliment like that from a Cardinals fan, it hits differently because Cardinal fans know the best when it comes to broadcasting. They have their own flavor of it. You know, what is good here might not be great in New York or LA, but, forget either of those places. We're not there. I guess I'll be there early next week, but you get the point. So thank you so much, everybody. It really does mean a lot. That is no small thing. I don't do platitudes. When I say it, I friggin' mean it. All right, we are back here for the top of the 7th inning. Now, here is Ryan Stanek. He's coming in relief of Zimmerman. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Four-seam fastball down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. He's up against Cooper Pratt, who's 0-for-1. In 34 2/3 innings pitch, a 4.67 ERA, a whip of 1.47 in 38 games. Came off the paternity list late last week. Now, here's the pitch. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. So as far as I know, he is a proud new dad. Another powerful blonde mullet, potentially, coming into this world. Coming set the Birds is Stanek. He deals. A four-seam fastball just off the outside quarter thigh high, ruled a ball, and the count is 3-0. On deck is Ortiz, and then in the hole is Yelich. So this is 8, 9, and 1. The 3-0. Ball 4, so Cooper Pratt gets issued a leadoff walk. 4 straight out of the zone for Stanek. And there's a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. Now here comes the third baseman Ortiz. He's 1 for 2 today. Runner on first with nobody out. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch from Stanek. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway, clocked 97 miles an hour out of the right hand of Stanek. Joey Ortiz, 1 for 2 with an RBI double and a run scored. 212, 2 home runs, 21 RBIs in 76 games, a 558 OPS. Stanek, he comes set at the Birds. He deals, he shows bunt, and he pushes it down the first base side. Nobody's covering first. Stanek goes over there in the crunch, and he just beats him to the bag, and there is a collision there between Brian Torres and Ortiz just beyond first base. Both of them are on the ground. It looks like they each got their bell rung. Getting up much slower is Brian Torres. Oh, goodness, he's got his bell rung. He's back on his feet again, but boy, oh boy, that did not look like fun. Stanek is on his rear end next to first base. There are runners on first and second with nobody out. That'll be an infield single. I do not know exactly what's going on there. It looks like they're kind of looking at the right ankle of Stanek. It was just one of those almost Three Stooges-like plays where, all three of those boneheads converge at the same time. Oh, boy. Yeah. And in the case of Stanek, he didn't even really hit them. He kind of got his right ankle jammed on, the front left corner of the base at first. That was a Three Stooges play, folks. So, whatever the outcome is here injury-wise, and Stanek is kind of walking in a gingerly manner back towards the mound, followed by Ollie Marmol and the training staff, Brian Torres seems to be okay. And that's a positive thing because the 28-year-old rookie out of the Atlantic League, Independent League Baseball, has really been an excellent piece since he was called up. So they're looking at Stanek, they're talking to Stanek. Ollie Marmol, inscrutable as ever. Stanek is just kind of standing around. Maybe he's trying to talk Marmol out of it. I don't know. Whatever it is, clearly no decision has been made yet. We'll find out. I imagine at the very least, he's standing on 2 feet. Okay. And you have to imagine that perhaps they'll have him throw they're having him jump up and down on 1 foot. Oh, careful with that in pitchers. Pitchers lie to you all the time. Oh, Skip, I can get this one. Oh, Skip, I can get the last one. You just put up a 5 spot. You said that 6 batters ago. And injuries are really sometimes no different. But, it makes a lot of sense because it's not just about being there for your team. It's just every opportunity you're out there to produce and you miss an opportunity is a missed opportunity that, can lead to further career loss in income. And I don't mean to be cynical here, but that's kind of how they have to think about it from time to time. So they are definitely yanking Ryan Stanek here. The training staff was not impressed with his hopping on 1 foot. Maybe next time they should also include saying the alphabet backwards. Make you touch your nose, walk the right. I'm kidding. All right, here comes the lefty, JoJo Romero. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think he was warming up. So it looks like this is going to be an injury-induced pitching change. So Romero will have some time to warm up. So we got a little time here. I think. KCM, hit the like button if you haven't, guys. Let's show our support for Paul D's awesome calls of the game. KCM, it's really interesting because you have been an absolute booster from very early on in this process here at Game Mike. And, you're not a Cardinal fan, you're a Brewer fan, which to me is quite a compliment to say the least. And, no, you always add so much to the whole experience. I want to thank you for that. So, looks like it'll probably be a couple of minutes here because Romero's going to need a little bit of time. Relievers can get hot pretty quickly when they need to. And, JoJo Romero has something of a rubber left arm. But, hey, we got time. Chuck Gaiman. I have a bad feeling. Hopefully JoJo can get us out of this. I thought you were going for the straight-up quote. I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah. If you know, you know. Is Miss still pitching for the Brewers? Okay, so we're going to find out in the bottom of the 7th inning. He was getting near 90 pitches. So that remains to be seen. It's not impossible, but given the weather, the whole thing, they want to protect their prize right arm, no doubt. And they should. He's just incredible. All right, looks like we're back for the top of the 7th inning. Runners on first and second with nobody out. And here's the lefty, JoJo Romero. Says a quick Hail Mary, points to the sky. Invoking his faith. In 39 innings pitched, he's a 3.69 ERA, a whip of 1.31, 9 Ks per 9 in 40 games. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Showing bunt, pushing it down the third baseline, going foul is Yelich, and the count is 0-1. What is Christian Yelich doing there, bunting? He's a DH leadoff hitter who doesn't really need to bunt. Simply put, runners on first and second, it's an 0-1 count. Lefty-lefty matchup. Yelich is 2 for 3. Coming set is Romero. He shows bunt again, and he bunts it foul for the second strike. I mean, if this is coming from the dugout, that's one thing. But, and I'm not saying it wouldn't be fundamentally sound. It's just like you're taking the bat out of his hands. Coming set is Romero. The 0-2 to Yelich. A sinker up and in, just missed his right arm. And the count is 1-2. Christian Yelich is 1 for 7 with 2 RBIs and 2 strikeouts in his career against Romero. Romero comes set at the Birds. The 1-2 offering. Hit to the left side and in and down the left field line into the corner for a base hit. At least 2 runs will score. And into second is Christian Yelich with an RBI single. The runner actually stays at third. And now the Milwaukee Brewers have a 4-3 lead. Oh, boy. And, oh, yeah, that thing was middle away. And that's precisely the reason why you don't bunt with Christian Yelich there. So 4-3, Milwaukee, the first pitch to Chiriot. Sinker, strike, whispers over the black of the outside quarter above the knees, and the count is 0-1. Jackson Chiriot is 0 for 3. Lefty-righty matchup. Runners lead off second and third. The 0-1 pitch. Chop foul down the third base side. Now to play on the changeup away, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Back into the box is Chiriot. Coming set is Romero. The 0-2. Changeup down and away. Check swing. Did he go around? No, of course he did not. Blue just very lackadaisically went. It wasn't close. It's a 1-2 count. Looking in is Romero. He comes set at the Birds. He's at the stretch. The 1-2 to Chiriot. Hit down the third base side. Picked up there on a hop by Fermin. Throws to first in time for the first out of the inning. Runners staying right there at second and third. No ability to advance on the ground ball to third. Fielded by Fermin. Chiriot goes down. 5-3 on the play. Now here's the lefty second baseman, Bryce Terang. He is 0 for 3 this afternoon with a couple of strikeouts. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Terang. He shows bunt, pulls back, but it's a sweeper called strike on the black of the inside corner thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Be well, Harold. See you later. Infield defense up against the lip of the grass. The 0-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the sweeper away. It was a half-hearted check swing that went way around. He tried to hold up, but he was about 3/4 through his swing. Had Terang make contact with it, as they used to say, it would have been a double. It's an 0-2 count. Runners lead off second and third. The 0-2 pitch. A sweeper just off the outside corner ruled a ball. Nobody's challenging it. The count is 1-2. Runners lead off second and third with 1 out. It's a 1-2 count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Runners lead. Looking in is Romero. Once again, a lefty-lefty matchup. Coming set at the Birds is Romero. He deals. Swinging strike 3. Down goes Terang, hacking for the second out of the inning. So Bryce Terang has the hat trick at home plate this afternoon in Game 1. And now there are runners on second and third with 2 out. 1 already in for the Brewers in the top of the 7th inning. They have themselves a 4-3 lead. And now they're going to give the intentional pass here to William Contreras, so that will load the bases with 2 out. And so clearly, Ollie Marmol rather goes with the lefty-lefty matchup here against Jake Bauers, who's not much of an improvement in this case over Contreras because he has been hot all afternoon. You know, he's 2 for 3 with a run scored. So thankful for the ABS system. Some of the ball strike calls in the series have already been gross. You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that, KCM. I was a little skeptical at first, but I've been watching it now for half a season, and it's actually been a really great addition. I completely agree. And it adds such excitement. It's a new dimension of strategy and just, or rather even tactics to some extent. And it's really exciting. And it's a very mature technology, except for the other night during that fog out at Wrigley when they couldn't get a call. Now, here's the first pitch. Strike. Now, there's a pinch hitter here for Bauers, the righty Vaughn. He's hitting .328. Andrew Vaughn on 134 at-bats, hitting .328 with 2 home runs, 24 at-bats. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. A changeup down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. So Jake Bauers getting pinch hit here for Andrew Vaughn, which makes it a lefty-righty matchup. This is the chess game. Coming set at the Birds is Romero, the 1-1 offering. Hit to the left side, fielded there deep in the hole by Wetherell. Goes over to first, and he gets him just in time going down the line. Briefly, Wetherell down there at third looked over to third to see if Fermin was covering it. Perhaps he could have gone the short way. I was afraid that when he missed that little moment there with the head fake, that he wouldn't be able to get him at first, but he gets him by a couple of steps for the third and final out of the inning. However, the Brewers, they push one across. They have a 4-3 lead. It's 7th inning stretch time down at Busch Stadium here in Game 1 of 2 of this split doubleheader. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. All right. Hey, Ronald Lyle. Good afternoon, car fans. Hope I don't miss too much. Hit that like button. Cheers to the Green Mountain State. Now, you've missed quite a lot. It's been a good game. Tight game. So due up here for the Cardinals going in the bottom of the 7th to be Lars Nootbaar, Brian Torres, and Nate Church. So 5, 6, 7 in the Cardinal order. It's still showing Misiorowski in, but let me give you his line today. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks, 9 strikeouts, and of course 2 home runs allowed. All 3 of the Cardinal runs coming off of long balls today. The first a 2-run shot in the bottom of the first inning by Jordan Walker. And the other is a solo job by Ivan Herrera in the bottom of the 3rd. So we will see where they go on Misiorowski. He's been sitting for a little while now, in addition to the fact his pitch count was high anyway. Giving you gray hairs. I don't intend to. It just kind of happens that way. I've not seen anybody up in the bullpen. It doesn't mean there isn't action down there. I mean, you see people walking around at the moment because I'm getting like the field level cam. Okay, so Jacob Misiorowski is coming out for the bottom of the 7th inning. My guess is that they want to be able to save the bullpen as much as possible for Game 2, which makes quite a bit of sense in many respects. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup here against Lars Nootbaar, who's 1 for 2. 4-3 Brewers, bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the first pitch. A curveball bounces out in front of the lefty batter's box. The count is 1-0. All righty. Nobody on, nobody out, bottom of the 7th inning. 4-3 Milwaukee. It's a 1-0 count here to Lars Nootbaar. 1 for 2 with the double. The 1-0 pitch. A 4-seam fastball away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. 2 275, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. Coming set is Misiorowski. He deals. Strike, four-seam fastball, inner third at the knees, and the count is 2-1. Misiorowski sets above the belt. He deals to Nootbaar. Strike, cutter on the outer third below the belt, and the count is 2-2. And there is action down there in the Brewer bullpen. The lefty Aaron Ashby getting hot, so setup guy. You know the dealio. He comes set. The 2-2 pitch. Called strike three on a four-seam fastball, inner third above the knees for the first out of the inning. Lars Nootbaar goes down in the observatory for the first out. Now, something interesting about Lars Nootbaar, because there's obviously a lot of trade speculation going around, and what are the Cards going to do, what are they not going to do? There's a thought on that. I don't think it's necessarily right, but a match could be there. With the status of Aaron Judge, I wouldn't be shocked if the Yankees tried to trade for Nootbaar. Now, here's Brian Torres. Here's the pitch. Hit on down the right field line, and it is slicing just foul of the pole. A long, loud first strike by Torres, and the count is 0-1. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying there's any trade rumors or anything like that. I'm just doing the math in my own head. Misiorowski comes set. The 0-1, he shows bunt and bunts it foul down the third base side, and the count is 0-2 to Brian Torres. Brian Torres is 0 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup, nobody on with one out, bottom of the seventh inning. 4-3 Milwaukee. They pulled ahead in the top of the seventh. Actually, just like last night, now that I think about it. Brian Torres has a strikeout and a flyout. 222, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, 24 games, part-time duty. 28-year-old rookie. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 0-2. Called strike three, challenged immediately there by Brian Torres. This is going to be very close. It was a slider that landed on the outside corner below the belt. I think it's a strike. And it's a confirmed strike three. Down looking goes Torres for the second out of the inning. So the Cardinals lose one of their 2 ABS challenges allotted in regulation. They only have one remaining. Milwaukee still has both of theirs. Now here's the lefty Nate Church. That was the 96th pitch for Misiorowski. Nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the seventh inning. 4-3 Milwaukee, righty-lefty matchup. Church is 0 for 2. The first pitch from Misiorowski. Strike, curveball down Broadway, clocked 89 miles an hour, and the count is 0-1. Coming set is Misiorowski. The 0-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball off the inside corner ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. So Misiorowski, the most pitches he's thrown in a single inning has been 19, so he's actually been quite economical. He comes set. He deals. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball up and away. Clocked 103, and the count is 1-2. Well, you know, I would say, Josh, in the case of Lars Nootbaar, when he's healthy, there's something of a track record there. So that would be something to go on. And it really depends on the lineup, depends on the deal. Common set is The Miz. The 1-2 pitch. Foul down the third base side. Now to play on the four-seam fastball up and away, and the count remains 1-2. You would want something pretty decent back for Lars Nootbaar because you're losing a lot, including an entire next year of control. Coming set is Misiorowski, the 1-2 to Church. Foul tipped on the curveball down and away. I am shocked Nate Church got a piece of that thing. The count remains 1-2. So 101 pitches here for Jacob Misiorowski. He comes set above the belt. He deals to Church. Foul down the third base side. Now to play the four-seam fastball up and away. The count remains 1-2. Back into the box is Nate Church. Set is Misiorowski. He deals. Hit to the left side, fielded there wide of third by Ortiz. Throws to first, just gets Nate Church by half a step at first for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 7 full innings of play, it is 4-3 Brewers going to the top of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying my call of the Brewers versus the Cardinals here on Game Mike this afternoon, the first game of this doubleheader, please do leave a like. It is really helping this channel grow. It gets out to more Cardinals fans. It's getting out to more baseball fans. Everybody's welcome here, of course, so long as they mind their manners. I think most of that's pretty common sense. Those who don't are asked to leave, but that is a rare occurrence. We're a pretty open group here, to be sure. And we, just love good baseball fans, If you add something good and lovely to the chat, something that really, enriches the experience, you're very much welcome here. So if you want to leave a like based on that, I sure would appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, you want to see more, hit subscribe. Join our cast of characters in our small slice of Redbird Nation. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. That is your public service announcement. Let's go to the chat. Hey, it's C. John. Howdy, friends. Checking in from hot, humid Miami. How the Redbirds looking today? It's been a close game, C. John. I am curious where the weather is more oppressive, here in St. Louis or down in Miami. But you have an advantage. You have white sandy beaches. Have I been to a Cardinals game? I have been to more Cardinals games than I can possibly remember, Rush Dash. Are you kidding? Games at Busch Stadium, games, at various places all over the country. I have seen a lot of Cardinal baseball in person. I've seen a lot of baseball in person, period. I think I'm only 7 stadiums away from having seen them all. So, yes, I've been to many, many Cardinals games. Alrighty. Hey, Paul, what happened? I mean, I can't give you a full game recap. All I can say is 4-3 Brewers. Now, here's the lefty Justin Brule in relief. Jojo Romero to Garrett Mitchell. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the sweeper away. The count is 0-1. In 41 in the third innings pitch, he has a 3.70 ERA and a 1.40 whip in 39 games. Lefty-lefty matchup. Nobody on, nobody out, top of the 8th. Here's the 0-1. Foul down the third base side and out of play. The count is 0-2. No doubt there's somebody in the chat that is would be generous enough to catch you up. I'm over 1,000. All right, well, I'm going to save the celebration for the mid-inning. We're going to have to put a cork in this for a moment. Coming set is Brule. The 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Down looking goes Garrett Mitchell for the first out of the inning. Garrett Mitchell getting caught in the observatory. Takes the backwards K. Major League Baseball's impression of Cyrillic for the first out here in the top of the 8th inning. I was crap in Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles can be very hot. Now, here's the first pitch to Frelick. Foul tipped, rolls over towards the Brewer on deck circle. The count is 0-1. Sal Frelick is 0 for 3. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with 1 out here in the top of the 8th. 4-3 Milwaukee. Coming set is Justin Brule. The 0-1 pitch. Strike sweeper on the inner third below the belt. And the count is 0-2. Oh, don't worry. Like I said, celebration half inning, guys. Don't worry. It's coming. Brule comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Foul tipped down the first base line and out of play on the sweeper away. Counts 0-2. The lefty is definitely ready there for the bottom of the 8th. And he is very good. Coming set is Brule. The 0-2 to Frelick. Hit on up there behind the mound. Charging in there is J.J. Weller. Throws to first in time to get Frelick going down the line for the first out of the inning. J.J. Weatherall was very well shaded just to the left field side of second, which makes sense because they're doing the maximum allowable shift by rule now for the left-handed Sal Frelick. He comes charging in. He throws from the grass just in front of second and then manages to get Frelick flying down the line for the second out. Now here's Cooper Pratt, the rookie shortstop. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Strike, sweeper, down Broadway, just at the knees, and the count is 0-1. A walk, a strikeout, swinging, and a walk. Cooper Pratt is 0 for 1. The 0-1 pitch. A sweeper just off the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. Like I said, the pin is in that grenade for the half inning. I'm not ignoring it, I can assure you. Coming set is Brule. The 1-1 pitch. Strike, sweeper on the outer third above the knees, and the count is 1-2. Stepping off the rubber there is Brule. Taking a couple pops of the rosin bag, get a little bit more traction on that baseball. Back into the box is Cooper Pratt. Lefty-righty matchup. It's a 1-2 count. Coming set is Brule. The 1-2 offering. Hit on up the middle. Fielded there just to the right of second by Torres. He throws to first in time for the final out of the inning. No runs. No hits. No walks. Nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 4-3 Milwaukee here in game 1 of 2 of this split doubleheader down at Busch today. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Yeah! That is all. Holy hell. Braylon. Justin. I mean, what could you even say to that that's commensurate with that level of generosity? Thank you. We go to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third inning, goodness gracious. Bottom of the 8th inning, folks. Due up is Fairmean, Crooks, and Weatherall. But no, speaking to the moment, I started calling Cardinal games towards like the beginning of the second week of May. Some of you know the story. I've been calling Yankee games prior to that for most of the first month, and it was fine. But one night I was on the road, and my wife had a particularly hard day at work. The Yankees had already played that afternoon. I called the game, and I wanted to do something nice for her because I couldn't be here in person, comfort her personally. And I said to myself, there's something I can do because Cardinals are her primary team. Yankees are 1A. I'm the inverse of that. What I didn't realize is when I did that, with them starting out on the West Coast, 9:40 Eastern time against the A's out in Sacramento, that 700 people would join me for that. I thought it was basically just going to be she and I and just a couple of randos. That's not what happened. Now, here's the setup man. Aaron Ashby, the left-hander, has a 3.25 ERA. Here's the first pitch of Fairmean. Swinging strike on the sinker, up and away, and the count is 0-1. And the rest, well, to quote Paul Harvey, and now you know the rest of the story. Coming set is Ashby, the 0-1 of Fairmean. Sinker strike, inside quarter at the knees, and the count is 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Uncle Charlie down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. Oh yeah, Ron, you're one of like the very originals that I remember, like Roger Baseman, Gorman, Gorin, I should say. Lefty-righty matchup. Coming set is Ashby, the 1-2. Hit on out there into left center field. Underneath it is Garrett Mitchell fighting the sun. Shays down. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Justin Beasley, I think, was there for the first game on the weekend, so he's part of the OG crew, of course. There are so many of you, and we spend a lot of time here doing this. And the thing is, when I see you in the chat, I think it might be easy, just like, okay, these are just usernames on YouTube with people typing comments. but you give me insights into your life that paint a really incredible picture of the audience that is here, and in the way we interact with each other, and in the way the call, is part of your life. And so when I see names here, I actually try and envision, I don't know what you look like, but I try to envision where you are, how you're listening or watching, what you might be doing. Because as I see it in a lot of ways, I was explaining it to my wife the other night. Now, here's Nelson Velasquez. He's in as a pinch hitter for Jimmy Crooks. Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. So presumably, Pedro Pages will come in as a defensive replacement in the top of the ninth. The 1-0 pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup down and in, and the count is 1-1. I was telling this to my wife the other night because those of you who are regulars here that consistently show up in the chat, I kind of envision it like you're all sitting in the front row with me and we're having a conversation. The 1-0 to Velasquez. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away, and the count is 1-2. Because I think it's important. And like I said, you guys give me such interesting insights into your lives that when I come here, even when I'm not feeling well or I'm tired, y'all are excited, you're having fun. It is so motivating. It really does lift me up in ways that I can't even explain. Coming set is Ashby. The 1-2 to Velasquez. A changeup bounces out well in front of home plate. In fact, it actually hits the lip of the grass in front of home plate. The count is 2-2. Braylon Beasley with another $1. Guys, we'll do dinner. At the very least. Coming set is Ashby. The 2-2 pitch. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 3-2. No, you guys have just been so incredibly generous. I can't thank you enough. On deck is J.J. Wetherell. He's 0 for 2. The 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Uncle Charlie inner third above the knees for the second out of the inning. The pinch hitter Velasquez gets caught in the observatory for the second out. It is like watching a game with friends. That's exactly what it is. And, my wife made a very good point a little while back. And I'll explain more in a moment. It's hard to go back and forth to be able to give this the kind of breadth that it deserves. Now here's J.J. Wetherell, lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch from Ashby. Hit down towards first. Going wide of first is Bowers. And he throws it to Ashby covering. And Wetherell beats him to first for an infield single. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now here comes Ivan Herrera, had a solo home run earlier. Is that something that we're losing quickly, unfortunately, here in the 21st century all too fast, is a sense of community and kinship, especially in sports. And in the best way we can in the digital medium, this, I think, has been something of that, because it is a community. You guys are not always talking to me in the chat. Most of the time, as far as I can tell, you're talking to each other. And that's just an amazing thing. Now, here's Ivan Herrera. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Runner on first with 2 out. The first pitch from Ashby. Swinging strike on the changeup down and in. Swinging over the top of that one is Herrera. The count is 0-1. Wetherell leads off first following the infield single with 2 out. 4-3 Milwaukee, bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch. A changeup down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Infield clearly shaded towards left and playing back with the righty Herrera with one of the most open stances you'll ever see. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Herrera. In fact, Ashby started going into his motion there. The only hitter that has a stance this wide open that I can remember was Tony Batista. He played for a number of teams, but was probably most productive with the Blue Jays in the late 90s, early 2000s. He also played for the Diamondbacks, maybe the Dodgers. The 1-1 pitch. Hit down the right field line and into right field for a base hit. Picking it up out there is Frelick in the corner. Going all the way to third there is J.J. Weatherall. A very long single there by Herrera. And now the Cardinals have runners on first and third with 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now, that was actually very good defensive alignment and preparation by the Brewers. They were playing no doubles defense. Had that not been the case, Sal Frelick would have had to play a carom off the wall in the corner, and J.J. Weatherall would have scored the tying run. That's not what happened. So another good example of one of the things that make the Brewers as tough as they are. They play very smart baseball. Now, here's Alec Burleson, lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. Clock 97 miles an hour. The left hand of Ashby, and the count is 1-0. Runners on first and third with 2 out. Coming sets Ashby, the 1-0. Swinging strike on the curveball, down and in from Ashby, and the count is 1-1. Fouled out, ground out, strikeout, swinging. Alec Burleson is 0 for 3. All of those were against the Miz. Runners lead. Coming sets Ashby, the 1-1. Strike, sinker, inside corner above the knees, and the count is 1-2. Looking in is Ashby. He comes set at the belt. He deals. Hit chopped down there towards second base. Picked up by Terang. Steps on second himself to force the runner, and that is the third and final out of the inning. So, no runs, 2 hits, no walks, 2 left on. After 8 full innings of play, it is 4-3 Brewers going to the top of the 9th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call Redbird action here on Game Mike, please do leave a like if you haven't done so already. It's really helping the channel continue to grow. And once again, thank you all so much. 1,000 subscribers in 2 months. That doesn't really happen very often on YouTube, let alone for a streamer. Whatever I'm streaming. Thank you. And if you're not subscribed and you like what you see, hit subscribe. Join the 1,000 others who have done so already as we unite here under the flag of Redbirds baseball and good baseball more generally. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. All right. Due up for the Brewers in the top of the 9th inning is Ortiz, Yelich, and Churrillo. 9-1 and 2 in the Brewer order. 4-3. This has been a really tight game. 100%. These two teams have been playing each other tough. So far, the Brewers have gotten the better of the Cardinals. And we'll see what happens here, especially on a doubleheader day. It is the Brewers, as I like to say, are a tough Sudoku. Gift for understatement. No, but between them and the Dodgers, they're the class of the National League. However, the one thing you got to say about the Cardinals, and this is something I've been thinking a lot about. I'll get back to it in a moment. Stepping into the box is the right-handed third baseman Ortiz. 2 for 3 this afternoon with a run scored. Here's the pitch. A sweeper well outside over the lefty batter's box from Justin Brule. The count is 1-0. So Justin Brule is out for his second frame. Lefty-righty matchup. He comes set above the belt. The 1-0 pitch. Hit on out there into right field and into right field for a base hit. Picked up there by Jordan Walker. Tosses back in. So Ortiz has himself a leadoff single here for the Brewers in the top of the 9th inning. Runner on first, nobody out. Steve? No. That's how I call games. You don't like it? Coming set is Brule. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Yelich. A sinker down and away. Gets away there from Pages, who's in as a defensive replacement. Going down to second is Ortiz. And now there's a runner on second with nobody out. The pitch is clearly ruled a ball, and the count is 1-0. Yeah, seriously, GJ Nick Fly, you got to remember what the matchup is. Not everybody knows that. Coming set is Brule. The 1-0 pitch. Hit on down there to left field. Giving chase towards the line is Newbar, but it slices foul into the stands for a foul ball. It's a 1-1 count. Runner on second, nobody out. Top of the ninth inning. 4-3 Milwaukee. It's a 1-1 count. The lefty Justin Brule against the lefty Yelich. Coming set above the belt. The 1-1 pitch. A sweeper down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Coming set is Brule. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled down the third base side and out of play, and the count is 2-2. I think the reason he's just out there is because he needs an arm that he considers somewhat expendable. Down by 1 in the ninth. That's my only guess, Sam. Coming set Brule. Runner leads off second. Stepping off the rubber there is Brule. Back to second is Ortiz. Christian Yelich is 3 for 4 this afternoon. He's had a big game here in game 1 of this split doubleheader. Brule comes set. The 2-2 pitch. Hit down the third baseline. Giving chase toward the line is Lars Nootbaar. He makes the catch right next to the line for the first out of the inning. Staying there at second is Ortiz. So now the Brewers have a runner on second with 1 out here in the top of the ninth inning. Oh, yeah. Getting hot down there in the Cardinal bullpen is the right-handed pitcher Gordon Graceffo. He's been used a fair amount lately. Brule comes set. Jackson Chourio is 0 for 4. The first pitch. Hit down there toward short field on a hop by Witherholt. Throws to first in time for the second out of the inning. Ortiz advances 90 feet to third on the play. And now the Brewers have a runner on third with 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. J.J. Witherholt, a defensive whiz at second. You know, he's not missing much there at short. You know, basically subbing in, giving Mason Wynn the first game off. Now here's Bryce Terang. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off third with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. A sweeper away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. What does the Stanek injury mean for game 2? That's a good question. Bryce Terang has the hat trick in terms of strikeouts today. Brule sets the 1-0. Strike sweeper inner third above the knees, and the count is 1-1. Brule sets on the mound. In the box is Terang. The 1-1 pitch. Foul back on the sinker in. The count is 1-2. Back onto the bump is Brule. In the box is Terang. It's a 1-2 count. He sets above the belt. The pitch. A four-seam fastball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. So there's a runner on third with 2 outs here in the top of the ninth inning. 4-3 Milwaukee. Infield defense largely straight away for the lefty Terang. Outfield defense somewhat shaded towards left. Coming set is Brule. He deals. A sweeper off the outside corner ruled a ball, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Next pitch is going to be Brule's 25th for this appearance. Brule comes set. steps off the rubber. Trying to get on the same page there. Runner leads off third. There's a 3-2 count with 2 out. Top of the 9th inning. 4-3 Milwaukee. Coming set is Brule. The 3-2 offering. Foul down the third base side. Now to play on the sweep. On the sinker. Count is 3-2. On deck is the catcher, the cleanup hitter, William Contreras, who's 0 for 3. He was intentionally walked in his previous at-bat. Coming set is Brule. The 3-2 offering. And it's called ball 4, but challenged immediately there by Pages. So there's an ABS challenge incoming, the last one available to the Cardinals. And it misses low. The ball 4 call is confirmed, and there are runners on first and third. It missed low by 1.1 inches. It was a good challenge there by Pages, but no dice. Runners on first and third. Now here comes the cleanup hitter. The righty hitting catcher Contreras. And Pages is going out there to have a little chat with Justin Brule, and with good reason. So they're having themselves a little chat. Sometimes things just go haywire in the chat, and I kind of like get caught in them. I catch it in the middle. I'm like, what's going on here? So they got the runners on first and third. Stepping into the box is Contreras. 0 for 3 with the intentional walk in his last at-bat. This season with runners in scoring position, 2 out, 263, 1 home run, 13 RBIs. Lefty-righty matchup. Coming set is Brule. The first pitch to Contreras. A sinker down and in and out of the zone, clocked 89 miles an hour. The count is 1-0. A tight spot here for the Cardinals. Infield defense clearly shaded towards left with the righty Contreras, but they are playing back. Burleson is holding the runner at first. Brule sets the 1-0 pitch. He goes down toward second, but there is no throw. So now there are runners on second and third with 2 out. The pitch is ruled a strike. It's a 1-1 count. It's not defensive indifference. I think Pages just held on to it for 2 reasons. One is I don't think he felt he had a play, or there was nobody down there properly covering, and he didn't want the runner to start getting adventurous towards home. Here's the pitch. A changeup down and away and in the dirt. The count is 2-1. Back into the box is Contreras. Runners on second and third with 2 out. It's a 2-1 count. Brule looks in. The pitch. Hit to the right side. Fielded there behind second is Torres. He throws to first in time for the final out of the inning. So, we head to the bottom of the 9th. Last licks for the Cardinals. The Brewers have themselves a 4-3 lead. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. All right. Due up for the Cardinals, Jordan Walker, Lars Nootbaar, Brian Torres. 4, 5, and 6 in the Cardinal order. I don't know if he's going to be using McGill here for the save situation. I would imagine he probably would, but I can't be sure. Well, because you have to at least try to play that you get 1 game of a doubleheader. So I think there's a decent chance they go with McGill here. I haven't seen him warming up, but it's definitely possible. He pitched last night. He got the save. I know for a fact the Cards want revenge on Uribe. Can you blame them? I was a little surprised how well the Cardinals supposedly took that demonstration back at the end of May. But we'll see. Oh, you think they're going to go to Uribe? That would make sense. We'll find out very shortly here. Let's see if the change has been made yet. So it's still showing as Ashby in the game, but whatever the case is, 4, 5, and 6 in the Cardinal order. Yeah, David Eckstein bobblehead night coming up on Saturday, July 11th. Now, that's worth going and getting. That's a good bobblehead. We are back for the bottom of the ninth inning. Coming up to the plate here is Jordan Walker. And indeed, Uribe is in the game. To give you his numbers here, Abner Uribe, the right-hander, 26 years old, 36 games, a 4-2 record, a 2.78 ERA, and 35 2/3 innings pitched with 34 strikeouts, a whip of 1.01, 5 saves in 7 opportunities this year. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Into the box is Jordan Walker, 4-3 Milwaukee here in Game 1. Stepping off the rubber there is Uribe. And going out there is Contreras. It looks like they're having a pitch comm issue because they were tapping the head there. So they're going to go and check out the equipment. So we have a moment. Well, George Polo, perhaps so. All right, they're fiddling with the equipment here at the moment. So we have a moment. Here comes one of the bat boys with a new pitch comm there for Uribe. And he's just fitting it in. Getting it set up for himself. So it'll just be another moment here until he's finished doing that. I have to imagine a dud pitch comm when you're out in the mound and you're ready to go like that can be a little... It can, mess with your focus a little bit. I mean, these guys are professionals, but still, I have to imagine it's at least an irritant. Coming set is Uribe. The first pitch to Walker. Hit back foul behind the plate on the sinker, down and in. The count is 0-1. Jordan Walker 1 for 3 this afternoon. 2-run home run back in the bottom of the first inning. Career against Uribe. 1 for 3 with a strikeout, I think. Coming sets Uribe. The 0-1 pitch. Foul down over the Cardinal dugout, and the count is 0-2. So nobody on, nobody out, bottom of the ninth inning. Last licks for the Cardinals. It is 4-3 Milwaukee. Back into the box is Jordan Walker. He's in the hole, 0-2. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the best of Jordan Walker. Over the period of a doubleheader, if you turn that into a drinking game, you would be wasted probably by about 2:30. Coming set is Uribe, the 0-2 pitch. There's a fly ball out there into shallow left. Going into the infield underneath it is Ortiz. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's interesting. There was a burst of cheering for that bat boy with the pitch. It's funny. I've looked back occasionally and just watched some stuff, and that little bit comes out there at the strangest times. Now, here's Lars Nootbaar, righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Strike, sinker, down Broadway, 99 miles an hour to the right hand of Uribe, and the count is 0-1. Nobody on with 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Coming set to Uribe. He deals. A sinker down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Lars Nootbaar is 1 for 3 this afternoon. Infield defense clearly shaded towards right with the lefty Nootbaar. Uribe sets at the belt. The pitch. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Uribe looks in. He comes set at the stretch. The 2-1 to Newt. Strike, slider on the inner third at the knees. And the count is 2-2. Stepping out of the box briefly there is Nootbaar, having a little word there with the home plate umpire. Probably seeing where he thought that was. Uribe sets. The 2-2 pitch. A sinker down and in, just misses the inside corner a little low, and the count is now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is the lefty Brian Torres. Uribe sets the belt, the 3-2. Ball 4, challenged immediately there by Contreras. I think it was a genuine ball, but we have an ABS challenge incoming. And it's confirmed a ball. So Lars Nootbaar works a 1-out walk here in the bottom of the 9th inning. That missed by 0.8 inches. Milwaukee has 1 challenge remaining of the 2 allotted in regulation. The Cardinals are all out of theirs. Now we have ourselves a pinch runner. Mason Wynn is taken over at first for Lars Nootbaar. Now due up here is the lefty Brian Torres. Strikeout swinging, a foul out, and a strikeout looking. 218, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, 756 OPS. With the righty Uribe on the mound, it's a righty-lefty matchup. Mason Wynn, the pinch runner, leads off first. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning, 4-3 Milwaukee. Uribe sets. The first pitch to Torres. A sinker down and in and out of the zone, clocked at 100 miles an hour. The count is 1-0. Between Uribe and Misiorowski, a lot of triple digits today. Into the box is Torres. It's a 1-0 count. Uribe comes set. He deals. Check swing on the sinker downstairs. Did he go around? Yes, says the home plate umpire. And the count is 1-1. Torres is back into the box. Wynn leads off first. It's a 1-1 count with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. Uribe trying to come in and put down the save here for Milwaukee. He deals. A sinker up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Infield defense playing in standard double play depth and alignment. The 2-1. Slider called strike on the outside corner thigh high. Torres there was not pleased with it, but he doesn't have an ABS challenge to do anything about it. If he had, he probably would have won it. I think it probably would have gotten overturned, but it doesn't matter because they don't got the challenge. It's a 2-2 count. Wynn leads off first. Uribe sets. He holds. And holds. He deals. There's a fly ball down the third baseline. Giving chase over there is Ortiz, but it goes about 3 rows deep, and the count remains even at 2-2. Caught by, it looks like a teenage Brewers fan there. Back onto the bump is Uribe. Torres, like I said, 0 for 3. Runner leads off first with 1 out. It's a 2-2 count. He comes set. He deals. Called strike 3 on a sinker on the inside corner above the knee for the 2nd out of the inning. So Brian Torres goes down looking there for the 2nd out. Now due up is the lefty Nate Church. It was a generous call, but there's nothing to be done there. And that's the 2nd out. Now Contreras is back out on the mound chatting with Uribe. There's still a runner on first with 2 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Waiting there to step into the box is Nate Church. He composes himself. A strikeout, swinging, a foul out, and a ground out. He is 0 for 3 this afternoon. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Uribe sets. The pitch. Chop foul towards the on-deck circle for the Cardinals on a sinker down and in. The count is 0-1. That was the 16th pitch for Uribe. Mason Wynn leads off first. There are 2 outs here. Cardinals down to their final out. Uribe looks in. The 0-1 pitch. Foul down the third base side. Out of play on the sinker down and in. And the count is now no balls and 2 strikes. It's an 0-2 count. Runner on first with 2 out. Bottom of the ninth, 4-3 Milwaukee here in Game 1. RHP sets. He deals. Foul down the third base side. Now to play on the slider down and in. The count remains 0-2. Should he try and steal second on this? No. Because if he got thrown out trying to steal second with Nate Church at the plate, with the bat still in his hands, it wouldn't be good. Common set is RHP. The 0-2 pitch. Hit to the right side. Fielded there by the first baseman. Steps on the bag himself. And that is your final. 4-3 Milwaukee here in Game 1. So the Cardinals dropped the first game of this split doubleheader today by the score of 4-3. A very similar outcome in terms of how it played out last night. Misiorowski did not have his best stuff today, but he didn't need it. He came through when he had it. He was able to hold the Cardinals, as was the Brewer bullpen, and they get themselves the first win here in this split doubleheader today down at Busch. Misiorowski improves to 10-4 on the year. Ryan Stanek falls to 2-2. Milwaukee improves to 57-33 on the year, whereas St. Louis falls to 47-42. Second game here tonight at Busch is scheduled for 6:45 p.m. Central Time. I will be live here on Game Mic at 6:35 p.m. Central Time. I will give you every inning of that second side of the doubleheader. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me here on the first half of this doubleheader. I'll be back tonight, and I hope you will be too. 4-3 Milwaukee here in Game 1 is your final. And I thank you all so much. Woodworking Outdoorsman, good call today, Paul. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. All good. Good stream. 1,000 subs and 185 likes. See you tonight, Paul. To the Beasleys, I can't thank you enough. Remarkably generous. And for every single one of you who have contributed to this very, quick rise here in just 2 months. I went from 12 subscribers to over 1,000 in a 2-month period. That's not something that happens often on YouTube. And I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the amazing Cardinal fans, and more broadly, because I know we have more than Cardinal fans here. And it's not just the teams that the Cardinals happen to be playing that come here and are part of the community. That's what makes Game Mic special. And I have every one of you to thank for it. And I can't thank you enough. I'll be back tonight. See you all at 6:35 p.m. for Game 2. 4-3 Milwaukee is your final. They have the first game of this first half of the doubleheader. This has been a presentation of Bombers Game Mic. I'm Paul D. Bombers Game Mic, over and out. Be well, both you and yours, wherever you may be. Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon, and I will see you tonight. Be well, and thank you all so much again. 1,000 subscribers. In the words of Mel Allen, how about that?